Hi, hello. It's another episode of Passive Pixels, a media catch-up podcast. My name is Edwin. I have Dorian over here. This is going to be a terrible episode because between the two of us, we just indulged in a lot of movies. I was going to call it Kino, but to be fair, there's a lot of fucking garbage, at least on my list. Dorian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Ed?
Now, I'm good. I'm reeling from the fact that somehow the Saw movies were good, and I'm very happy I went to the theaters twice.
Yes, I've been to the theaters a lot this month. Like, I think last night was my sixth or seventh time. So it's been a
This
lot, and I'm not
year,
done yet.
or
No, in October.
holy shit. Okay, you are saving cinema more than I am.
Yeah, I've been a lot lately, and I'm going again on Sunday to see Dune a second time, which we'll get into. But I'm going,
Oh,
I'm going, yeah, second time for Dune, and I still want to try sneak in the last duel. So I'm not done yet.
oh, oh man, I will have to hear back about Last Duel because I'm almost considering it. The problem is that I just don't trust Ridley Scott, even though I know, at least
Yeah,
from the last time that we checked out, his output isn't bad. It's just
it, it's
highly
it, it's
inconsistent.
It's inconsistent. It's very hit and miss. So that I agree with. But Last Duel's been getting pretty good reviews, and the cast is really good. So I think that one's safe. But I mean, we'll see.
My only disappointment is that so AMC, they have like three different types of premium showings. They have Dolby Atmos, they have IMAX, and they have Prime. Now, IMAX, I've seen it. It's Limax, whatever. Oh, by the way, I guess I should probably explain that since we know that we don't know, other people don't know what that means. Limax, apparently, most of the IMAX screens that you go to watch are not proper IMAX. They're not the right size. So, whoops, sorry, boo. So Dolby Atmos, IMAX, and Prime. Prime is something that I have not seen a movie in, and I'm just waiting for a movie that I kind of don't care about to watch it there. And Last Duel kind of fit that right realm. But now that Last Night in Soho and Dune have come in and cleaned up, there is no chance for the Last Duel to be in Prime. So, uh, whoops. Let's go ahead and just roll right into it. What I'm gonna go ahead and say my list, then we'll get yours out of the way. My list is Saw 4, 5, 6, 7, 3D, the final chapter. I added the three different titles because there were three different names that movie had: Jigsaw and Spiral, Lost in Translation, Scream, Scary Movie, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Transformers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, I hate myself. Dune, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Voice of Cards demo. Yeah, months later, I finally finished it. And Back to the Future 1. Dorian, what's your list?
Like you snuck that one game at the end and just went back straight back into the movies. Good shit. So yeah, I got mine a bit more separated. So three games: Psychonauts 2, House of Ashes, Dark Pictures Anthology, and Guardians of the Galaxy, the game. And then in terms of movies, I've got Good Time, Halloween Kills, Blade Runner: The Final Cut, Blade Runner 2049, Serial Experiments Lain, Upgrade, Dune, American Psycho, Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, Squid Games, Drive, Before Sunrise, and Last Night in Soho.
Wonderful. All right, get Weep Try out of the way. Get the shit that you don't like.
Yeah, well, Weeb Trial's going to be very quick this week because I don't want to talk a lot about it. But I've been watching Squid Games and Serial Experiments Lane. Serial Experiments Lane, I went back to it because there was only like 4 or 5 episodes left, and I was like, fuck it. I'll just put it on before bed at night so I can finish it. I still
Mhm.
haven't finished it. There's still like 2 episodes left. I feel the same way I felt about it before. So you can look that up and hear me shit on it then if you want to. I might talk about it a bit more once I'm finished, but yeah, I don't want to devote any more time to that than I already have. As
Mhm.
for Squid Games, I'm on episode 8 now, I believe. So I think there's 2 episodes remaining. Wanted to
Wait,
finish
it's
it
10
before
episodes?
9.
9. Okay. I
Yeah, there's
I
only
know that everyone talks about a specific episode that you already passed. So by the
yes.
time that I hear that, I was like, "Oh, okay. So I guess there may be like two more episodes after that." There's three more.
There's 3 more. And that specific episode, by the way, I'll talk about it again. I'm not going to devote much time. I want to finish it first and then talk about it.
Mhm.
But that specific episode, which is episode 6, is actually really fantastic. And it's the best episode in the series. Now, I've heard that stuff undoes it later. So, I mean, that's why I don't really want to talk about it until then. So, I'll see.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's good. It's fine. But I'll talk about that more when I get there. So, fuck the
Okay.
weebs, fuck the weeb trial. And yeah, USA.
USA, USA, USA. I can't believe I let the Canadian do the US chant before I did. Okay, go for what was the other one? Whatever was the next week trial. Oh, serial
Yeah.
experiments.
Oh, I already talked about it. That was literally all I wanted to say.
Oh, I didn't read. Oh, you just wanted to say what's on the list.
I did say a little bit. Did you? I don't know if you missed that, but yeah, I
No, I
just
did.
said that. Yeah, I think you might have. But I said that I'd watched it, and yeah, I don't want to talk about it until I finished it. Put it on at night, so I'm done talking about that until it's done.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that about Squid Game. Oh my god,
No,
you
no, sorry, that
transitioned
was about
so hard.
no, sorry, that was about Serial Experiments Lane, and then I went right into Squid Games. I did not even put a buffer between them. So
Damn, okay, legend. I'm not even gonna put a timestamp between them then.
yeah, no, just blend them all together.
All right,
Weeb.
let's go into games
It's called
now.
Weeb.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong about that. Okay, let's go into games. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock it out. Voice of Cards demo. It's cute. It's interesting. It's got the music. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the Yokotaro Punch. It just seems like he's gonna just have fun with this. And you know what? Fine. I keep forgetting to buy it. It's already out. I'll do that at some point. That's it. I have nothing else. Do you have any opinions about this?
No, I didn't try the demo. I actually kind of want to. I will say that it fucked me over in my fantasy league. So fuck you, Yokotaro. That's all I have to say.
Don't you that we do not besmirch the man that I talked 12 hours about his work
I
on a
needed an
passive.
80 plus open critic on that. He fucked me.
Yokotaro fucks when he wants, okay?
That's fair. Go enjoy your sake, Yoko. Sake.
Okay, just back to back all your games now.
Yeah, okay, let's go. So, okay, I'll get the one I don't have much to say out of the way first. Guardians of the Galaxy, the game. I'm pretty early in, still I'm only on chapter 6. The game is really great so far, though. Really, really great writing, great looking story. The worst part of the game so far is just the bugs and the glitches, and it's pretty jank. Definitely could have used a couple more months in the oven, but it's been great so far. I just don't want to talk about too much about it before I finish. But yeah, it's been very enjoyable so far, and I'm excited to play more. You have
I've
anything
been
to
a
say?
yo-yo with this game because I didn't care, still didn't care. Saw all you guys praising it and like, "Oh my god, this is so fun." And thinking, "Okay, you know what? I'll pick it up on a Black Friday sale." And then I decided to watch Radic. Yes, there you go. There's your shout out. There you go. It's not like you're listening anyways, but I saw Radic streaming it, and at least for the hour that I watched, I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm not feeling this at all." So now I'm actually down to a $10 price point or not play at all. So yeah, this one probably is not going to be for me.
Fair enough. The only other thing I wanted to say was just shout out Eidos Montreal. I love you, Eidos Montreal. I obviously wish you were still making Deus Ex. It's not going to happen. It's done. But it's good to see you making good games again. So.
Eidos Montreal, the fact that you exist and Deus Ex died, I'd swap you guys at any moment. The wrong kid died.
See, I don't know if I agree with that. Would you really want Eidos? No, and the only reason I say that is, let's say fucking they resurrect Deus Ex and put it into Crystal Dynamics hands. Would you want that? Because it's not going on to Square Enix. So who's it gonna fucking go to? They'll go to Crystal Dynamics. And you really want them making a Deus Ex game?
I'll roll my dice.
Oh man! After event, yeah, we'd get a fucking open world fucking co-op Deus Ex game. Fuck that shit. Jesus Christ.
It'll hurt, but it'll still be alive. Damn it.
Oh, I'd rather it die than fucking come back as Frankenstein. Anyways,
Are
that's all I have to say about
you
it.
tell me you don't want to see an Ubisoft Deus Ex?
Okay, we're done. We're done. Cancel the show. It's over.
Do you know how much it hurt me to say that?
Oh my god, I'm down on Ubi now too. So that the thought of that just terrifying.
Welcome to the right side of history, man.
I don't hate it as
Okay.
much as you, but definitely down.
All right, next game.
Okay, so let's talk about House of Ashes first. House of Ashes is the next in the Dark Pictures anthology series by Supermassive. They make good games. I like them. So they've made if you don't know, they've made Until Dawn, which is their most popular one. It was a PlayStation exclusive. They also made Man of Medan and Little Hope. So I've enjoyed most of these games. Until Dawn, actually, I think is banging. It's a really good game.
Yep.
Man of Medan's the weakest one in my opinion. Definitely had a lot of issues with that game. It was just pretty mid overall. Little Hope improved a lot of that. I thought it was a good game, but it had some issues, especially near the end. Like my biggest problem with Little Hope is like kind of these games, how they work is you make a bunch of choices and a lot of your characters can die. Little Hope was just kind of stupid because like I made it to the end with everyone alive and there's like one sequence like near the very end and it tracks these stats in a weird way. And it's so obtuse, but if you don't have your stats in the proper way, like everybody just fucking dies. And it's just so stupid. So that was the worst part about Little Hope. So House of Ashes actually fixes a lot of that. It stars Ashley Tisdale, which I just fucking love. Like I don't know where they dug her up out of, but
The
here she,
landfill of Disney original movies.
right? But here she is in this game. Ed, have you ever seen The Descent?
No.
Okay, this is very much The Descent in video game forms, which is really cool too because I love The Descent. I think it's a really great horror film. And yeah, they did a really good job with this one. It's creepy. It's creepy when it needs to be, but then it just gets batshit insane near the end, which I appreciate. Like it just goes in a completely crazy direction, which I wasn't expecting. It's fair at the end. Thankfully, you have a lot of tense like moments at the end, but like if you get your quick time events right and everything like that, then you won't have anyone die. I actually only had one character die, so maybe it was a little bit too easy this time. But yeah, I only fucked up once and had one character die. But they did a really good job with this game. I really enjoyed it. It's still a little bit jank at times. I mean, that's kind of the thing with these games. And they
Mhm.
announced basically after every game, they do a trailer for the next game. And they did do a trailer for the next game. It actually looks Saw themed almost, like there's a bunch of traps and people stuck and stuff like that. So that could
Mhm.
be kind of cool. But I think, and they also said it's the season one finale. So my assumption is they're going to do that one next year and then take a bit of a break, maybe tweak some things and hopefully kind of fix some of the jank in these things. But yeah, they're really enjoyable. I'm happy to support these because we don't get a lot of games like that. So
Now, of course, I'm just gonna say that this is an I sleep, because I'm fine. I'm good. I have no opinion on this. That's it. Moving on.
so
I
yeah,
know
I
I just
would.
can't. I can't. I'm just
That's fair.
really in the mood for like gamey ass games, and if it's something that's close to a movie, it's like, well, I could be watching a movie. All right. Do you know how long my watch list is? I could be doing this.
Yeah, that's fair. See, I still prefer games that are more like movies than games, so it's
I'm
right up my
broken right
alley.
now. Now, fuck video games right now, but I still want to give a Sony chant. Okay.
Sony. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Now talk to me about Psychonauts 2 because this is one that's I'm most
Yeah,
likely to play out of anything that we talked about.
Psychonauts 2 is fucking great. So, I don't know. I know I've talked about it before, but I think it's been pretty brief because, again, I haven't, as you can tell by my list, I haven't been in a very big gaming mood lately.
I know I love this
Um,
mood.
Yeah, it just hasn't been there. But Psychonauts 2 is so fucking good, and actually Guardians of the Galaxy has been in the same vein so far, that it's kind of dragged me through that and has kept me gaming. Now it's been a lot slower chunks. Like I'm only playing like usually a couple hours at a time now instead of doing like my 5 6 hour marathon sessions I usually do.
Jesus.
But this game's great. And what I really appreciate about this game, I played a lot of platformers over the years, and I think platformers are just kind of a stale genre in general. There's not a lot going for them. But this
Mhm.
game, it's super creative, and there's so many things in this game that make you go, "Oh, I've never seen that in a platformer before. Oh, I would have never thought to do something like that." And it's just in every way a massive improvement over the first Psychonauts. I think I talked about the first Psychonauts a little bit back when I played it. It was good, but it was just so jank and rough and so old. And the last level is rage inducing. It's just everything that's bad about platformers in those early year games. And
Mhm.
there's nothing like that in this game. It's just pristine. Graphically, it looks beautiful. Like the art direction in this game is fantastic. I'm not going to say it looks like a Pixar game and trigger the audience, but
I'm already triggered by the fact of that sentence.
but it looks really beautiful. I played it on Xbox Series X through streaming, actually. Through streaming.
Okay. Sony.
Sony. And it looks gorgeous. It's HDR enabled and just full 4K, 60 frames per second. Uh, it just
Dorian,
looks
wouldn't
great.
you prefer to play it on PS4 where there's no HDR and not in 4K, but you can still
Yeah,
support Sony?
yeah, I would have loved to, but free's free. Uh,
It's not free through Game Pass.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I had to pay my subscription fee.
Move
But
on.
yeah, it's
Keep
just
going.
yeah, it's just great, honestly. And what I find shocking to me, and maybe I don't know, maybe I mean I don't think I'm comparing apples to oranges because they're both platformers. But I finished
Mm,
Ratchet Rift Apart earlier this year, and my opinion on that game has definitely gone down the farther away I've gotten from it. I think
mm.
it's a good game. I think it's banging. In fact, still I think it's now staying at a 7 out of 10 for me, but it's just another 7 out of 10 Insomniac game. Psychonauts 2 is so much better in every single way. Like I don't understand how Ratchet got this much hype, this much publicity, and Psychonauts 2 just kind of left to the landslide. It's really weird, and I understand that Ratchet Sony, but I mean Psychonauts
Yep.
2 is still available on Sony consoles, so I feel like the game should get a little bit more love than it's gotten. But yeah, this is one of my favorite games of the year. It's absolutely in battle with Returnal for me. I don't
Ooh.
know at this point which one I like better, but I did give it a 9 out of 10 too. Like it's that good. Like this game's really great. This is the best platformer I played in a long fucking time, maybe ever. Like it's just stellar in terms of 3D platformers. So yeah, it's just really great.
I will definitely, well, okay, I'm not gonna say definitely because I know how I am. I looked up and saw, oh, PS4 copies. What are those? And it's like, no, you needed to have backed the game in 2019 to get in a physical disc. So
Yeah.
yeah, that ship has sailed. There's no chance that ever happens. If they ever release a physical copy, you know what? I'll be there at the $40 price range. That's when you'll see me. But besides that, I'm probably not going to buy this digitally. If I do, it would probably be on PC. And if I do it on PC, it's going to be like really cheap, like $1 or $5. So, in other words, in like 2035. And even then, because it's on PC, I'd probably buy it and then not play it. So, it's just a shame. I would want to do this, but I already know that I have so many mental blocks to get there that I probably won't get to it. I do want to, though.
Yeah, it's frustrating that there's not more physical copies of this, honestly. Like, again, it's the same, and on Xbox, there's no physical copies at all, none. Like,
But
you can't, or like,
really?
unless you backed it. Sorry,
Oh, God.
same thing. But yeah, it's annoying. Like, I don't understand that. At Microsoft, you have all the money in the world. You bought these guys. Like, fucking make physical copies for the goddamn game. Because I would absolutely buy a physical copy for this game. I love it. But
Now, Phil
yeah, that's
Spencer's
not an
over there
option.
like, ah, nah, Game Pass, Game Pass.
Yeah, it's irritating for this one, honestly, and it really bothers me because I don't know. They haven't shown that they're going to do that in the future, so I hope they don't. But yeah, that's just a weird one for this one because I'm not buying it digitally. Fuck that.
Mm,
But yeah, again, but all that aside, like it's a really special game. If you like platformers at all, definitely check this one out because they do such a great job with it. There's even a little recap at the very start that kind of recaps the events of Psychonauts 1. So
mhm.
take my advice, don't go back and play that game because it doesn't hold up very well, and just jump right into
Oh,
2.
trust me, I wasn't going to.
Yeah,
I was
no,
thinking
that
that I was probably
yeah.
gonna just do a watch through of the circus level. I think that's what
Oh, the
everyone always talks about.
fucking meat circus. Well, that level's rage inducing. Like throw your controller at the wall, rage
Oh, never
inducing.
mind. It bad. Okay, never mind. I thought that was a good one. Never mind.
No, no, the milkman. The milkman's the level you want to
Oh,
watch.
okay. Well,
That's the fun
uh,
one. Which I will say, one thing about Psychonauts 2 that's holding it. I mean, it's still a great game. Like I obviously fucking adore it, but there's nothing as like off the wall bonkers as that Milkman level. There's some good shit,
mm,
but there's nothing like as fucking insane as that. That would be my only complaint, but it's literally better in every other way. So
mm.
yeah.
Okay. You know what? I just realized we've been running through this shit and we haven't been doing any scores. Well, I haven't been doing any scores, so I'm just gonna roll it back for a second. Squid Game is a Netflix out of 10. Fuck you, Netflix. Unless you want to sponsor me, then I love you. Uh, Serial Experiments Lane. You know what? Fuck it. You're also getting a Netflix out of 10. I don't care about you. Voice of Cards demo is going to be a Yoko Taro out of 10, which means I'm going to be there for you. I will try and save you. Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a Marvel out of 10, and that should say everything about how much I do not like Marvel, that it's probably tainting what is otherwise a good game. House of Ashes is Cinema out of 10. Let me just go watch Cinema instead. Psychonauts 2 is going to be a oh man, if you weren't owned by Phil Spencer and Microsoft, I'd probably play you
Out of 10.
out of 10.
Um, yeah, and
Every
I'm
single
not.
time I forget the last one out of 10.
I know, right? I'm not rating anything I haven't finished, so that shit's gonna just sit on its shelf for now. And then, yeah, like I said, House of Ashes would be a 7.5 out of 10 for me, and then Psychonauts 2 is a 9 out of 10. Really, please, if you like platformers, give this game a shot. It's undoubtedly not going to get the recognition it deserves. It's really good.
All right, now is it time to go into cinema?
Yeah, we're cinema time. That's it. Games are done.
Oh,
They're out of the way.
cinema. All right, let's go ahead and start with probably what will end up being the big boy in the room, Dune.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Transformers.
Oh, no, that's You know,
Dune.
I've been trying not to think about those, but every once in a while, I just remember the aneurysm that I was getting during the 5th one, and I'll explain when I get there, but yeah, Dune. By
Dune.
the way, I feel
Yeah.
like I have to spell it out because every time that I tell people about Dune, they think I'm saying Doom. So,
Doom. Yeah.
no. Dune,
Yeah, don't watch the movie with The Rock.
Dune. Yeah, no. Well, okay, there's like a really cool first person segment. Like just watch that on YouTube and then call it a day. Okay, so yeah, Dune. We both went okay, first off, let's get a count on how many times we've watched this. I've watched it twice in theaters, once streaming. Where are you?
Well, in Canada, we don't get the luxury of streaming it, unfortunately. So I've actually only
You
seen
mean
it
you
the
don't get
once still.
punished dealing with people who are like, "Oh, I'll just stream it instead."
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's nice. But yeah, I've only seen it the once. But like I said, I'm going Sunday for a second time.
Mhm. Alright, now I'm gonna give out even more numbers so you can understand that, I think I maybe like this movie. I watched it once in theaters, paid for tickets for me and my wife. I then tried to book tickets for me and my best friend. However, I screwed up and booked tickets on that same day instead of the day that we
Yeah,
were going to go
I've
watch
done
it.
that before.
Mhm. I realized that it was already too late, and while I probably could have called and gotten a refund, I decided, "You know what? No, Denny Villeneuve, you need this money more than I do. Here you go. I'm just not even gonna ask for a refund. Here's 2 extra tickets." And then, of course, I still booked the tickets for my best friend and I to go watch it. And I did it, 9:40 PM. I did a 9:40 PM showing on a Wednesday just so he can watch it before he got out of Dolby Atmos because the next week, Last Night in Soho was going to take it. So I sleep deprived myself to make sure that he watched it in the proper Dolby Atmos format. So after that, I then made sure that from like I don't even remember when I watched it. Let's just say it was Friday. Yeah, Friday sounds right. From Friday all the way to like Tuesday, I would wake up in the morning about and before I went to work, I'd turn on my PS4, I'd go to HBO and I would play Dune and then I would turn off the TV. And I did this 11 times. So, 2 watches, 6 tickets in total and 11 streams. So, I think maybe I like this movie. I think it's your
That's
time to
pretty.
gush.
It's pretty good. It's not bad. No, I I don't know if I could top all that shit, but no, I really fucking like this movie. Here's the thing. It's interesting. I have a love hate relationship with Denny and his sci-fi movies, which I've made
You just
clear.
hate Arrival, and God, I just can't stand you.
Well, I don't like Arrival, and I liked 2049, and we'll talk about that later. I have more appreciation for that now. So that was kind of always a weird one for me. But Dune, and here we go. I'm going to make another comparison that's going to make you mad right now.
All
But
right, ain't trigger me.
Dune for me is how that people felt about Fellowship of the Ring after watching it for the first time. That's honestly how I feel.
Oh, I'm
I
okay with
never
that.
liked the Lord of the Ring movies as much as people. People went batshit crazy for me, but that's how I felt finishing Dune 1. I'm like, oh my god, that was fucking incredible. I need the rest of these in my body now. And that was that's the biggest compliment I can give it. And I don't mean that as a slight because I know how much people love Lord of the Rings in general,
Oh, that's a
but that's
compliment.
the feeling I got from that. It's just an incredible movie. And what really bothers me is that movies like this aren't the normal.
Correct.
Marvel has just satirized fucking everything in the box office now. Fuck you, Eternals, and your 59% now rotten rating.
Thank
Because
God.
shit like this is just consistently coming out now in the blockbuster spot, and we don't get shit like Dune, and it's disappointing.
I've been saying it this entire time that we've had this show that Marvel killed the epic and it killed the
Mhm.
comedy. Well,
Yeah.
half killed the comedy. The streaming killed the other half. Dune is an epic. Like
Yeah.
Dune is an epic. It absolutely is, and we
Mhm.
don't get epics because of Marvel. So that's why even though this is a part 1, you know what? I'm not even mad because at least I know that it exists. Like, at
Yeah.
least I know that there's a certain promise that might be fulfilled. It
Yeah.
was, there's still a part 2, but I mean the promise of you might get to see the end of this.
For sure. And to be honest, if it gets made, if it gets filmed, at this point, I have very little reason to trust that Denny's not going to make an incredible film.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, like, obviously, I'll wait to see it before I gush on it. But it just, I mean, he absolutely nailed the first one so hard. I mean, it's possible that the second one just turns out to be a turd, but I don't see a reality where that
Denny
happens.
Villeneuve don't miss. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it was like you said, it was a true old fashioned epic. And it was so great to see something like that in theaters anymore because you just don't. Now you just get your standard Marvel fare or some other comic book, a Marvel, DC, whatever you want.
A known IP that everyone will go and
Yeah.
like, "Oh, wow, you wanna go see that?" Like, no.
Yeah, and it's disappointing. So, God bless WB, Legendary, Denny Villeneuve, and all those people involved in getting this made, getting this on the big screen, and taking a chance and doing something different. Because I'll tell you, like, people want to shit on like big corporations and studios all the time, and I'm fine with that.
Yes, I
But
agree.
after Blade Runner 2049, it would have been very easy for WB to just say, you know, fuck it, like we're done. We're not giving you another chance, Denny. We're not making another movie like this. Like, because Blade Runner 2049 was an absolute fucking box office disaster.
Yep.
Like, it could not have been worse for anyone involved in that movie. But it looks like Dune's going to be a lot more successful, and they took the chance. And credit to everyone involved in that because it's special.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and get the numbers. I'm going to be very kind. Blade Runner 2049 has a reported budget of between 150 and 185 million. So we're just going to say 150. So 150 times 2.5, because usually they spend about 150% of the budget on marketing. So
Yes.
2.5 is usually the number that we get. That means that it needed to break even 375 million low end. The
Yeah.
budget was 259. So minus 259. That means that at a bare minimum. So not even, this might not be just okay, yeah,
Yeah.
bare minimum.
Yeah.
$116 million was lost because of Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah. Thankfully, Dune's under like a lot less pressure too because WB made the stupid decision to put everything on HBO Max day one. So there's less pressure because of that, which is nice. So it did $40 million at the box office for the domestic box office. But
Mm,
that was considered a success because that's like the highest they've had with this whole HBO Max bullshit. So
yep. All right, let me see. Oh wow, okay. They need $412.5 million to consider Dune at least in the black. Currently it's at 241, but then again, considering that you know COVID times and all that, that's actually not that bad of a return on box office. So you know what? Good job, Dune. Good job.
yeah, it's definitely going to do better than Blade Runner did. So props for that. And yeah, like we both said, the movie's incredible. Like it's just, oh my god, it's so good. Like, I guess should we start talking about the movie now?
Yeah, of course. Go into spoilers.
Yeah. So should count down or
Oh yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah, I'll count down. 3, 2, 1. Zendaya's only in the movie for like 7 minutes, and then it's like mostly just flashbacks, and then she stares directly in the camera and says, "Please support us at our Patreon and give us money so we can make Dune Part 2."
work through it. Fucking, I sent her some money.
Oh yeah, no, of course, no. I saw someone that resembled Zendaya outside. I don't know. It was just a person with blue eyes, and they asked me for money, so I threw my wallet at them and I left.
Yeah, fair.
So Dune Part 2 is all because of me.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Congratulations. Yeah, this movie's great though, man. Like the plot is so it's a very dense story. Obviously, it's a very dense book, so you kind of knew what you're getting into there. But they do a really good job of not overloading you with information in this movie. Like the first hour is a lot of information, but the way they do it is just smart. They kind of space it out in between little story segments and kind of introduce the characters and kind of get you involved in the main plot. Which, by the way, I was surprised, but basically everybody's massacred in this fucking movie. Like,
Oh, it's great.
no, almost nobody survives. Like the only guy I'm gonna hold hope for is fucking let me look him up here. Josh Brolin's character Gurney, because I'm following the cinema rule. If you don't see them die on screen, they might still be alive. So it's possible that he's still alive, but everyone else is fucking dead.
Okay, of 8 people on the poster, 4 are dead.
Yeah, right. Like you got obviously fucking
Wait, no, hold on. Never mind, never mind. I just remember that his mom's alive. So we
yeah.
got Timothy,
Oh
Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Country for No Old Men Man, and his mom. Damn it,
yeah.
Javier Bardem. There we go. I'm so sorry, Javier Bardem, if you're listening. You're important to me, I swear.
His character's name is Stilgar, by the way. But yes,
Stilgar.
Stilgar. Still, and he's great, by the way. He's not
Oh
in much.
yes.
Like he's just my favorite. I said it. I think I said it on the Discord, but my favorite scene in this movie is fucking when Josh Brolin's character is like, "Yeah, I don't," and he's talking about Javier Bardem's character. Is like, "I don't like that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, of course you don't. No Country for Old Men. Like, why would you? Of course you hate that guy. It fucking fits perfectly." But yeah, like he's in it he's in it a very like one scene at the beginning, like early on for like a few minutes, and then you don't see him again until the very end, basically. But he's
Mhm.
obviously going to be a big player in part two, so it's
Oh
cool.
yeah. Honestly, I love so much of this movie. I just love the set design. I
Oh,
love all the
beautiful
actors. Just
cinematography,
oh, I
gorgeous.
to be fair, I think what's really pulling me through more than anything else is that it's Hans Zimmer, but it's Hans Zimmer's not doing his Hans Zimmerisms. Like, he is actually like, I need to probably change the music for this. I can't do the fucking No Time to Die, like, I still can't get over the fact that like I heard his exact same shit in No Time to Die as he does in everything else. So the
Look,
fact that he actually slipped into this movie and you heard different themes, which by the way, the da, 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 da. Like, that has been stuck in my head for like at least a good couple of days now because it's just so good, and I love how he remixes all the music to center around that theme. And oh my god, just so much of this movie, just every time I look at it, I'm like, this is gorgeous. I'm so happy that he was allowed to be just shooting all these things in these wide sweeping vistas that it just blows my mind that people are probably watching this on TV. And to be fair, it's probably a credit to the movie that people are still liking it, watching it like that. By the way, you didn't watch it, you're watching it wrong. It's probably a testament that the movie's still good, that even people are watching on TV, that it's not just me gushing over the fact that seeing it on a large screen is just like overwhelming.
yeah, like, to go back for a second, I
Mhm.
fucking I think I like Hans Zimmer more than most people do. I fucking love Hans, and this score, yeah, I will give you credit. I will say a lot of his stuff does sound kind of samey sometimes, and love it, but
I feel like
this
he just
is
has his tropes.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, Dune was missing a good brum, but otherwise it
Oh,
was really, it was really great. The score sounded very different for this movie, very unique, but it felt Dune. Like I don't know how else to explain that, but it felt very Dune like.
it felt
Um,
like kind of mysterious and it
yeah,
felt deserty.
yeah, and he did a really great job with it. Like if you had like told me before the movie that, oh yeah, Hans Zimmer did the score for that, I would not have like expected that. Like it just didn't sound like a Hans Zimmer score would normally do. But it was great. Like it was really well done. I think it's the first time Denny and Hans have ever worked together too. I don't know if they've worked together before that. So kind of cool.
No, no, no. I think he
Or they
did
did?
the score for Blade Runner as well.
Did he do the score for Blade Runner? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. Like what I love is that it just seemed like Hans looked at Nolan, was like, you know what? You don't need me anymore. I'm going to go off to the next person who needs the cinema touch. And then he just floated over to Denis and he was like, Denis, it is time for you to ascend. And he's like, I am ready.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I did not know that.
Although
That's
I can't
great.
say that shit because he also did the score for Dark Phoenix and The Lion King. So like I don't exactly want to give Hans Zimmer like he has the golden touch.
Yeah, no, there's some. Well, we won't talk
What
about
the
those.
fuck? He did the score for the SpongeBob movie?
Okay, well that's incredible. That's just incredible. I just goaded.
You know what? Okay, maybe he does have the golden touch.
Yeah, like, SpongeBob outweighs all the bad. I'm sorry. That's just.
Sorry, it's the new one that came out last year, A Sponge on the Run.
Oh God,
Wait,
fucking
oh
great.
no, fuck no. He did the Boss Baby, Family Business. Okay,
All
never
right,
mind. I'm
we're
throw it
back
all
out.
out. You
We're back out.
sorry, Hans.
Um,
Peace out.
uh, back to Dune. I love how the
Yes, dude.
bad guys in this movie too. Fucking Stellan Skarsgård as the Baron was just fucking disgusting, and I loved.
His voice.
Oh my god, he's just disgusting. Batista's just there being fucking Batista, but I still love him. He's great. Just
The
fucking
man has like 10 seconds of screen time and it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
yelling. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
It's basically the same role he had in fucking 2049. But
Yeah,
it's
no,
great.
no, 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 no. In Blade 20
No,
2049, he's
he's got
like
a bit more
really
depth.
subdued. He's
Yeah, he's gonna
quiet.
no, but he's there for like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
Is
okay,
what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah. I
But
love
yeah,
that
no.
Denny's like, I need someone here for 10 seconds. Hey, Drax, between 10 seconds of like filming for Marvel, can you come over? He was like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. He just like takes a break in between Guardians and just comes over and does this shit.
No, the thing is that
But
like he's standing very still, right? And then he tells James Gunn like, "Hey, just CGI me in. I need to go and do real cinema." He's like, "Okay, got it."
for sure. I think my only quibble with the movie is I feel like that betrayal from the doctor just kind of comes a bit quickly and out of nowhere. I didn't
Yeah.
really get to know his character as much. That would probably be my only complaint, and I imagine that's something that's probably expounded on a bit more in the books, and they just didn't have time.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little kind of out there, but literally that would probably be the only negative I have. Everything else was just a spectacle for this movie. Like it was a feast for the eyes and a feast for the brains. Like everything visually was just so gorgeous to look at, but everything that was like the actual story and the content of everything was just so great too. And like I said, by the time it ended, I was like, "Oh, fuck you!" But I want part two now.
Dude, I
So
the only complaint I have is that Zendaya breaks the fourth wall and like grabs you by the neck and it goes, "Do you not understand the gravity of the situation? We don't have money, okay? This is only the beginning. pay the fuck up if you want more. And I thought, well, that's actually a really odd choice, Denis. I don't think that you should have left that in the script where you just tell everyone, hey, come back. It felt really weird.
Yeah, it worked for me. I'm coming back though.
Oh, I'll be back too. Like it was kind of weird whenever I saw the people who work at the theater start handing out like the little baskets, like if you're in church, and I was like, oh well, okay, all right, here you go. I'm like,
To make a little collection donation. Fucking hell.
oh man, it had the entire Dune logo on the actual basket. I was like, oh man, okay, you guys really need this, huh? Don't you?
But yeah, it was just everyone was so good in this. Fucking Rebecca Ferguson's amazing.
Yo, my god.
And Timothy Chalamet, like they're both so good in these roles. Like to me, they're the best characters in the movie. Their relationship and their dynamic, just
Timmy, for
fantastic.
me, he falls a little bit in the Ryan Gosling school of acting where he definitely can bring it, but a lot of it feels like it's you're filling in the blanks because he has that face that lets you project whatever you want on it.
Yeah, well, we're talking about 2049 and Drive, so I'm going to talk more about Gosling later. But
Oh.
yeah, I've got specific thoughts about Gosling, so I'll get into those. But
Mm,
I really like Timothy Chalamet in this. Now to be fair, I
yes,
really haven't seen much else of him, so I can't
correct.
comment on him as a whole. He was apparently, which I didn't realize until later, in Interstellar in a very small
Yep.
role, so that was kind of cool.
Yep.
But
He is the
yeah,
young kid at the very beginning who gets
yes,
completely ignored by his dad.
yes, he's also an Xbox, so fuck him.
I forgot about that. He's an
Yeah,
Xbox. I don't like him anymore. The Lady
yeah, I,
Bird gone, done,
yeah.
deleted.
Well, I think Nolan's a Sony pony because he knew that and he was like, "Oh, you're a fucking Xbox. I'm ignoring you in the movie. Fuck you."
Well, you know what, Nolan? Sony, Sony, Sony. You know what? I think maybe I like Dunkirk a little more now. Exactly. There you go.
But yeah, they're great. You know what's funny? I'm not a big Oscar Isaac fan. I'm really not, but he was good
I
in
know you're
this.
not. I love it. I love that
Yeah,
man, and I can't stand you for not liking him.
yeah, he was good in this. Well, I just don't want to. I'm just more salty that he's going to be fucking Solid Snake, man. I'm just, that whole thing just fucking
Okay, look. I would
infuriates me.
rather it be in his hands than anyone else.
No,
Okay, like
no. At this point, just fucking make it Gilbert Godfrey. It's already a fucking travesty of a
okay.
fucking movie.
That's unfair. Okay,
On,
Gilbert Gottfried
on,
is break
on,
glass.
on.
Metal Gear, Liquid, get down here. Dad would not approve this.
Nano machines.
Nano machines.
Oh, fuck me. All right.
Okay,
Jason
I want
Momoa,
Gil.
I love
I want.
Jason. I'm moving on. No, I'm moving on. That's gonna stay dead. Jason Momoa is fantastic as Duncan. Just the cast in
He,
general is so fucking good. Denny doesn't miss with that shit normally, so he's great
Dude,
with
I'm
cast.
telling you right now, just Duncan Idaho, just the way that Jason Momoa plays
So
it, it feels
cool.
like the greatest brother, like the greatest older brother you could ever have. Like
Like,
every time he grabs Timothy Chalamet and picks him up, I'm like, look at their love.
have you seen Aquaman?
No,
I'm not gonna
no.
lie, like like I just was like, man, this just feel Duncan. You just feel like Aquaman, but I'm okay with that.
Ooh,
Like you just really
ooh.
feel like Aquaman. That's just kind of what Jason Momoa feels like to me now. But it's not a bad thing. He's so cool. Just fucking reeks it.
Yes.
He's awesome,
Okay,
and he was great in this movie too.
I want to talk about the Benny Gesserit. Just that entire creepy thing, the
Oh
voice,
yeah,
all of that,
the
the
voice so
Gom
good.
Jabbar.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Dude,
Yeah.
it's been stuck in my head as well. The song that plays whenever he has his hand in the box and you hear the lady go,
Oh, it's so
"Ah."
good. I love that. I love that.
Like every time that she hits that little growl when she sings, I feel like my soul just rises out of me. I'm like, oh my god, please introduce more growls.
So good, eh? Mm.
Mhm. But yeah, oh my god, that entire scene with the Gum Jabbar, of course, the little poison dart, and just Timothy just acting his ass off as he's in pain there, and of course Rebecca out there fears the mind killer. It was like, oh my god, all this shit is just working so well in tandem.
There's so many good scenes in this movie. Like if somebody was asking like what's your favorite scene in this movie, and immediately I went to the one like I really like the end of the movie when they have that fight between
Yep.
Paul and that guy. That whole
Mhm.
sequence was fucking incredible to me. But then somebody's talking about the tent scene. I'm like, oh yeah, the
Yep.
tent scene's fucking
Oh,
amazing.
it's a tense
There's
scene.
just there's just so many great scenes in this movie. And when he finally kind of masters that voice a little bit, and you kind of get that growl, that just the primal fucking get off her, so fucking good. Mm.
Oh, remove her mask. Kill
Oh,
him. Just
oh,
the bouncing back of the sounds. I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Oh my god. There's just so much in this movie that the sound design was fucking killing me.
oh my god, yeah. And to be fair, that's something Denny's always usually really good with the sound design in his movies, and they're always pretty pristine and just crunchy and just sounds great.
Oh my god. The voice though, the voice is
Mm.
just so cool. What I love is that this movie had me almost in immediately. I remember watching it and I was like, "Okay, yeah." They had the little bombs blow up the harvester and I was like, "Okay, that looks really cool. I love that you actually zoomed this out so I can tell." Trust me, zooming out is going to be an issue that I have later on with Transformers. Although what really just did it for me, right, was when they're sitting at the table and she's like, "Use the voice," and he screws it up, and then he focuses, and you have all the sound just
Yeah,
evaporate from the room,
yeah,
and I was like, "Oh,
yeah.
oh, I like this."
And that's a
And
great
then
scene
when
too. And what's
yeah,
that, like 20 minutes in? Oh,
no, that's like 3 or 5 minutes in.
yeah, it's super early in. A fucking great scene, man. It just kicks off right away. Like I don't like. There's a lot of like I've heard complaints about how slow this movie is to start, and I don't get
I
it,
can't.
man.
Mm-mm. I cannot see how this movie just doesn't become water when you watch it. Like, this
Yeah,
pacing is just immaculate.
yeah. It does not feel like a nearly 3 hour movie. Like it really
Mhm.
doesn't. Like when it was ending, I was like, oh man, that felt like an hour and a half tops. Like it did not feel like a full 2 hours and 40 minutes or whatever it is. So
Dude, it's funny. So my wife, she'll look at the run times before we walk into a theater, and I can't stand it. I don't know when she does it. Like, I'm not keeping an eye on her hard enough, but I know she does it every single time. Maybe she's doing that at work. I don't know. But when we got to the point where Zendaya like starts the communion pickup through the aisles, and she says that line, I was like, wait, is this it? Is this it? This can't be it. And my wife just kind of starts looking at me and I'm like, "No, this can't be it." And then the credits hit, and it says, "Directed by Denis Villeneuve," and she's like, "Yeah, it's been about 2.5 hours." And I was like, "You were looking at the time?" I was like, "I didn't know. I thought we were
oh,
like an hour 40 in."
it's heartbreaking. It really did not feel that long. Like it's paced immaculately. Mm.
The tent scene. Oh my god,
Mhm,
those
mhm,
flashes of what will
mhm,
come. I was like, "This is awesome."
mhm.
Dude, Paul just my single favorite shot in this entire movie is Paul with blue eyes along with Zendaya in the ship just looking down at the Atreides soldiers. I was like, "This is fucking cool."
Yeah, and
I
that's why
wanna get to just Paul the Destructor so quickly.
well, and that's why I'm really excited to see it a second time because a lot of those flashes are really quick and they're kind of blink if you miss sometimes. So I want to like I really want to focus on the second time and just kind of look at all those flashes and kind of get an idea of okay, what exactly is happening in this future that you're visioning because there's some shit going down there we're going to see play out probably. So it'll be interesting.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I just really have trouble hearing in general. And of course, language just completely passed me by in this movie. So, of course, the plot is that the Atreides were set to Arrakis to harvest spice, quotation marks. But instead, what it is that it's the Emperor using the Harkonnens who used to hold Arrakis. Apparently, the both of them are scared of the Atreides becoming too strong, so they banded together to kill all the Atreides. And it seems that what the plot is going to be later on is that Paul and his mom are going to gather all the other houses to overthrow the Harkonnen and the Empire. Is there anything there that I might have missed?
No, that sounds like a really good summary.
Okay, so in other words, what I think is that those flashes are Paul being able to get the power. Oh, sorry, the name of the episode is going to be Desert Power, and this is where it comes. Paul is going to harness desert power like his dad wanted, and I think the flashes are him using the oh my god, the Fremen, which god, I don't know what is so nice about saying it. Just Fremen, it falls off the lips. he's using the Fremen to fight the Imperial guards, and while that's going on, I think the desert worms are losing their fucking minds around there.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we haven't even talked about the fucking sandworms yet, but how fucking cool were they?
Oh god, the desert worms were so fucking cool, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually getting really mad when they killed the black woman Fremen, the one who was going to ride the
Yes.
desert worm,
Yeah, I
and
was
they
mad.
kill her. I was
That made
like,
me mad
no,
too.
I was like, no, let me see her ride the worm.
I got mad too. Yeah.
And but then again, they resolved it really quickly because they played the "Ah," and I was like, okay, never mind. Do what you need to do.
You're
You're in
forgiven.
control. But then seeing it at the end of the movie, I was like,
Yes.
yes,
You get to see it at the
yes.
very end.
And then Zendaya started like, hey, please, for $5 a day, you can save this puppy. And I was like, oh, damn it,
Here's my
dude.
$5.
Dude, here's my $20.
Yeah,
Oh
Mr.
my god, this movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of negatives. This is one of my. It's a very good movie. The stupid thing is, like, this is just one part of it. But if I don't know if there's going to be a trilogy or just a sequel or what the fuck they're going to do, so we'll see. But however many they do, if they end up all being this consistent quality, this might be my favorite. This might end up being my favorite trilogy of all time, and some of my favorite movies of all time. And I mean, I don't want to jump the gun too much, so we'll see what happens. But like, this is just such an outstanding start. So
Because, of course, I have the Wikipedia up. In March 2018, Villeneuve stated that his goal was to adapt the novel into a two-part film series. But if somehow this movie, maybe Warner Brothers is looking like, hey, Danny, how's it going? You want to do a trilogy? Like, I would love it if somehow they got to the table and Denis Villeneuve was able to secure a back-to-back shooting like a
yeah,
Back to the Future or The Matrix did, which,
yeah. Well,
whew,
yeah, and from what I've heard, like I haven't read the books. I'm not a fucking nerd. I don't read books.
yeah,
But
books,
from
ew,
yeah,
cinema.
exactly. But from the people that have read books, everyone, like I haven't seen one person, everyone has said that you can do three movies very easily. You're not doing a Hobbit situation where you're just trying to stretch shit out for no reason.
Mhm.
So if they want to do three movies, I think they'll be able to do three movies, and that would be awesome. But we'll see.
God, I would love that so much because if I can get another epic trilogy before Amazon goes in and tries to redo one of the already epic trilogies, I would very happily look, Warner Brothers, do you see what you've done with Harry Potter? Where you have 8 movies that you can release over and over and over again in different variations, different slipcovers, different steelbooks, and people still fucking buy them? What if you had another cash cow like that?
Could be
Please.
Dune. Could be Dune.
Do you know how many steelbooks I could potentially buy for Dune, Warner Brothers? Do you know? A lot.
And I'll get Ed to get them for me too. So it's like double the sales,
Exactly.
guys. Double the sales.
Double the sales. Oh no, damn it! I was about to make a reference to Attack of the Clones, but that's gonna be whatever. Let's later on. but but yes, Dune, fucking incredible. I really did want to kind of do a special episode on this one, but not gonna lie, I was just really lazy. This one really could have gotten it. I think it's just that this is a really bad time for me to want to do more.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Very easily, we could go for like 2.5 hour, 3 hours on this. You're just gonna have to take our words for it, though. It's fucking great. See it, and like he said,
Theaters.
yes, you don't be like, no, I saw it I watched it on HBO. No, you did not watch it on HBO Max. Fuck you. Get your ass out of the chair and go to the theater.
Hold on, let me go into that. So of course, watched it in theaters, and then I watched it at home. Of course, I have already talked up my theater room to high heaven. Right? It's a 77-inch OLED TV. There's like maybe 6 feet away between the screen to your face, so it's pretty much taking up your entire view. It is a 7.1 sound system. Right? It is an actual receiver. It is not like a fucking Vizio or a Samsung thing where you just take it out of the box, like, and it's a sound bar with like a couple of satellite speakers. Like, no, this is an actual sound system. And even I was like laughing sometimes at some of the visuals that HBO Max was putting out. Which, by the way, it's funny because the visuals were bad. Well, occasionally. I'll explain. But the sound itself was still like really good, although it's kind of hilarious because the sound is the thing I had the least problem with. So Dune in HBO is 4K, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos. Now the funny thing is that Dolby Atmos did not turn on And apparently, I looked it up. HBO Max does not like 4K Chromecasts for Dolby Atmos. Of course, Dolby Atmos is the sound, right? And it was actually funny to me that even though I didn't have Dolby Atmos, the sound, even watching at home, was crunchy as hell. Like it hit. Of course, it's not a room with 200 speakers, so that's already a loss there as well. Now, the visuals, the ending scene where I was about to say Willem Dafoe, but I know it's not right. Javier Bardem. Whenever Javier Bardem is talking to Rebecca Ferguson and Timothy Chalamet, and it's like really dark, it is comedically compressed on HBO. Like it is trying so fucking hard to try and show this dark scene, but instead what ends up happening is that you see splotches of shadows on their face and all across. And it's like, wow, this looks really bad. And I realized that 4K streaming doesn't have color banding, it instead has checkerboarding, which is something I've never seen in my life. So I think right after Timothy Chalamet and his mom escape from the sand and they're outside of the city and they see it all torn down, when they're walking through the sand dune, the actual sand itself had a checkerboard pattern to it. And I was like, this is terrible. And here's the thing, I'm not I'm not that much of a snob. Okay, well, no, never mind. I'm not gonna lie. I am a snob, but I'm not looking for these things. I'm just watching the movie, and it's not like it's off to the corner or something where you notice it. No, no. When the entire shot is a sand dune and they're like maybe 5-10% of the screen walking through it and you're looking at the sand dune straight ahead, you can see the fact that it looks like they're chess pieces. Like that's how bad it looked. So no, do not stream this. Do not watch this in theaters, or at least watch it in 4K at the very least. And so, by the way, 4K disc, not 4K streaming, because 4K streaming is just a really bad Blu-ray rip. That is it.
Cor- Correct. Yeah. 4K streaming sucks. Watch it in 4K when it comes out, but you should go see it in theaters first.
Yes, I agree. But then again, you kind of don't need to. We already got part two. Part two is where we're going to need the more support now.
Go, baby. So,
hmm
yeah. Anything else or scores?
yeah, let's go into scores.
So,
I'm going to give Dune a fuck Marvel out of 10 and an epic out of 10.
it's a 5 out of 5 star movie for me. It's
Woo!
one of the better just
Woo!
blockbusters I've seen in ages. Just go see it. It's fucking phenomenal.
All right, I love Oscar Isaac. Okay, moving on. Now what is the other overlap that we have? Do
we
you want to go back to the
have
future?
we have Back to the Future. Is that it? I thought we had one more. Oh, and
Yep.
Soho.
Oh, okay, let's go. Oh, I haven't written it down on my list. Whoops. Okay, shall we go into Last Night in Soho?
Yeah, let's do Soho.
All right, Last Night in Soho is very good. Another Edgar Wright hit. We're about to start making our other, other anthem that we repeat here over and over again on Passive Pixels is that Edgar Wright don't miss. Edgar
Yeah,
Wright
this one
don't
I
miss.
agree with. Yeah, you
hmm
don't miss. You don't miss.
Now, Last Night in Soho, should you watch it in theaters? Yeah, probably because it's not doing good. Does it need the theater?
No.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because it hurts.
No,
But
but you should go
it's
support him.
yeah, exactly. The movie is really fucking good. That we sold you on it. Congrats. Woo! Spoilers now.
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna give you a little extra time. Look at that. I'm being very kind. All right, you've had enough time. Diane Riggs is Anya Taylor Joy. Boom, ruined for you. Okay, this movie is really fucking good. It is gorgeous. I am so happy about the colors. I can't wait to watch this at home. No, okay, so I guess I should probably explain what ended up happening. Wednesday, I got into an early screening for Last Night in Soho. It was set at 7 p.m. There was a I watched this the same day that I did Dune with my best friend. So there was like a 2 hour and 40-minute gap between the starting runtime of Last Night in Soho until I had to go watch Dune in a theater 30 minutes away. So it was a very tight fit, but we made it and we missed like maybe a trailer or two for Dune. So bit of a time crunch. I didn't get to sit through the credits, which made me a little sad. But man, oh, this movie is gorgeous. The sound design in it as well, because Edgar Wright loves his music. Oh, it was great. The only thing I can say is that this movie felt like the least Edgar Wrighty, just because it felt like Edgar Wright loves filling in every single frame with something that when you come back to, you'll see like, "Oh my god, that was there from the beginning." And since I knew that, I started trying to watch it and, like, pick it out. Like, I knew that Baby Driver when I went to go watch it in theaters, I picked out a couple of things where I was like, "Oh, haha, that one's pretty good." This one didn't have that, which I was kinda shocked about. Dorian, toss it to you.
Yeah, so I really liked it. I think it's really good. To me, it felt that's interesting that you ended on that. I can't speak to the whole. There's something in every frame, but it definitely felt like an Edgar Wright movie to me.
Mm, mm,
Which I don't mean as an insult. Like all his movies are very good. There's nothing wrong
mhm.
with that. It's very well shot. The acting performances by everyone in this movie is just great. The
Yes.
two leads, Matt Smith, the grandmother. Everyone's
Diane
just
Riggs. Rest in
Diane
peace,
Riggs.
Diane Riggs.
Yeah, she was great in this. The little Diane thing at the beginning was a nice touch too.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so really well done there. The music, of course, I mean, the man knows his music, so
Oh,
really,
absolutely.
just great stuff there. And yeah, it was just a really classic, good mystery kind of thriller slash little bit slasher horror in there. And yeah, just not a lot to complain about. It was just really well made and well done. I enjoyed my time with it, and it's cool to see Edgar Wright doing more stuff like this because it'd be very simple for him to kind of just stick in comedy and do nothing but comedy because he's was so good in comedy. But he kind of reaches out and does Baby Driver, which is more actiony, and then does something like
Mhm.
this, which is more of a suspense thriller. So very cool to see him genre hopping and interested to see what he does next.
I will say this, that Thomasin McKenzie, I can't believe just how much fun she was. Like, to me, she
Very
was
good.
just always the girl in Jojo Rabbit, which, I mean, to be fair, that was, like, the last thing she did and, like, literally the only thing of hers that I've seen. So, I'm just always happy whenever we have a new actor or actress come in and you're like, "Oh, thank God, okay, we're still gonna get good people. Thank God." Like, even Timothy Chalamet in Dune, I was like, "Oh, thank God. Okay, you know what? There's still going to be those leading men or leading women that we can justifiably rely on." Oh no, she was an old. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna close that tab. Oh no. Okay, get your paycheck, girl. Okay, get your paycheck.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But no, she was great. I think she was my favorite person in this movie, man. She was
Uh,
really fucking good.
Anya Taylor Joy kind of just the girl has an unfair advantage where she gets to do all the fun stuff.
Yeah, I like Donna Taylor Joy a lot in this movie, but she's just not like. I mean, she's very good in this movie too. Don't get me wrong. And when she sings the song, like it's absolutely maybe one of the best moments in the movie. But I don't know, like Eloise was really great in this movie, and she's basically has to carry most of it. Like she's the
Oh yeah.
one doing most of the heavy lifting. So really great performance by her.
I'm not gonna lie. I think what it is that the mundane present day stuff, just listening to her and just going through all that, I was like, you know what? I like you. I'm glad that they did like a proper setup where you just kind of feel for her almost immediately when someone takes her coke and just going to this new school, it all sucks. And you're like, okay, you know what? I'm okay with you. I like you. We're good with you now. I think what it is that all that daytime stuff doesn't exactly have like full on interesting stuff going on. So as soon as she just goes to sleep and she turns into Anya Taylor-Joy, I'm just like, "Oh my god." Like, just everything is so bright and just everything is moving and the music kicks up and, oh, the '60s aesthetic is just so gorgeous in this movie that I can't help that anytime I see Anya Taylor-Joy and she's just relishing that situation, it's just, oh my god. Everything about Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie is just so perfect that I can't help but I feel like it's cheating. Like, of course, they gave her all the fun stuff, so of course she comes out the strongest. But to be fair, I mean, the fact that Mackenzie was given like literally the boring spots and it was still good probably speaks more to that. But I'm sorry, Shiny Thing, man. Shiny Thing is in front of me, and I gotta say that I like that more.
That's fair, but what flips me for it is in the second half of the movie when things start kind of blending together and the realities start getting intertwined. That's
Mhm.
when her shit starts getting more crazy, and
Oh
she
yeah.
starts seeing everything and like seeing all the visions. Almost stabs her fucking that bitchy student right in the
Mhm.
face with the scissors. So there's a lot of good stuff there to chew on, and I think that's when I started liking her like a bit more. But no, they're both really incredible performances, and there wasn't a bad performance in the movie, honestly. So yeah.
By the way, I just love the use of the lights in her room just slowly
Yes.
flashing between white, blue, and red. I was like,
I could
"Oh,
never
this is
sleep in
hot."
that. environment. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no, I'm probably sure I wouldn't either, but
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's why we all turn into Anya Taylor-Joy when we sleep in that room, so
yeah, maybe it's fair. Fair trade, I guess.
and, I could spend a day or 2 as her. I
Yeah,
really could. I mean,
fair
oh,
enough.
dude, I found out she spoke Spanish, and I was like, "Oh my god, she does it better than I do. Oh, this is embarrassing."
Yeah, she actually, I guess, hides the accent in all her movies, which is interesting.
But, oh my god, this movie is so fucking good. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, Matt Smith. Matt Smith was just really fucking creepy in here, and I think it's probably
Yeah,
one of the first times that I've seen him in
he's
something. Like,
great.
he's been periphery for me. I've never actually hold on, I gotta see this shit. You
Well,
take it
everybody
over. I need
knows.
to see if there's anything I've seen of him.
Yeah, like everybody knows him from Doctor Who, right? Like that'll be his thing for time now, right? When you become the Doctor, that's basically what you're known as at that point. I've never seen him in anything else other than that, but he was a much maligned Doctor, but I really enjoyed his time in Doctor Who. At the end of the day, he just was following David Tennant, which is nearly impossible shoes to fill. But he was great in this. He was really creepy, like you said. He's got the perfect face for it. That face is perfect for jump scares. So it was good stuff.
Okay, no, you are right. I have seen nothing of his.
Oh,
Nothing. So,
he's in Morbius.
oh, great. You know how excited I am about Marvel product number 272.
No, that's just this Sony. This is the Sony verse, Ed.
Oh, woo. Sony, the company that is holding Lawrence Arabia in 4K behind an out of print collection. Woo, Sony, Sony, Sony. Fuck you, Sony.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Columbia Pictures. I can't stand either of you bitches. I'm angry. God, I just want to
Yeah.
watch Lawrence Arabia in 4K now.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see Matt Smith in this movie and do well. I actually do hope I see him in more stuff because he's a good actor. So
He's going to be in the Game of Thrones spin-off, so I'm probably going to give that a shot, and we'll see how it is.
fair enough.
All right, so it makes me so sad. I know that we gave Dune so much time, and I wish I could give Last Night in Soho more time, but
It's
I enjoyed it. Like, I don't know
yeah,
what
it
if
did.
there's more I can go into it.
No, it's not the same type of movie as Dune. You're getting a more traditional, thriller movie. It's something you just kind of need to experience and see for yourself. We touched over all the big things, but there's not as much to talk about as Dune. And I'll tell you my rating. This is a 4 star out of 5 movie. For me, it's still a very good movie. But I mean, Dune was just masterpiece. This is a masterpiece. It's very good, and but it's probably going to be at the back half of Edgar Wright's stuff for me when it's all said and done. Which
Oh,
again, he doesn't miss, so that's not an insult.
I will say this. I don't like the last 2 minutes of the movie. Like, that was so unnecessary. It really
Just
is.
just too happy, you think?
No, I just feel like if you cut it off, like, 2 minutes earlier, it'd be a stronger movie. Like, it feel
From
like,
like what
Baby
point?
Driver has the same thing.
What point?
So she's, what's it called? Eloise is outside. She is
Yeah.
on the
So,
gurney.
you mean like end it there?
Yeah,
Okay, so just don't show any of that stuff after with the
the fashion
fashion
show.
show.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
don't need
Yeah,
that. Like, it just feels like, and then they lived happily ever after. Like, I didn't need that. I felt like everything else had been resolved. Like, I didn't really care about her fashion career. I kind of felt like the fashion career was kind of just her push to get her into London and for her to start letting Anya Taylor-Joy bleed into her real life too.
see, I don't know. I agree and I disagree. I think I don't think I needed any of the fashion stuff. I agree with that, but I would have liked something a little bit more kind of ambiguous, even horror like maybe like she's in the ambulance and then it kind of cuts to like she's in the hospital in the film and she's like just getting out of bed, goes to the bathroom, looks in the mirror, and Anna Taylor Joy's there. Like I would have liked that or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if I needed the other stuff.
Hmm. You know what? I think I'd be okay with that. I think the problem is that I've been spoiled by like a good amount of movies that just end at the right time.
Fair enough.
So like A Quiet Place Part 2 like still is in my head. Like I feel like that movie, both of those movies actually,
Oh, they end
just
perfectly.
end so at the right time. You're like,
Yeah,
oh fuck, okay. Like
yeah.
it just feels like it pulls you out of the movie so quickly. You're like, oh shit, that was incredible. You haven't gotten it to yet, but Before Sunset actually has that for me too, where I think that one has like probably one of the strongest endings where I'm like, oh fuck, okay, I wasn't ready for that. So I'm kind of sad that Last Night in Soho and Baby Driver kind of have a thing where it's like, if you cut off like the last 2 minutes, it probably could have been a little better. But also the situation that you provided, I think that one actually would work for me too, because it's like you kind of still leave that little. horror ending where it's like, ah, well, now she's with her for the rest of her life.
Spooky.
Spooks. All right, scores, I assume now? Or actually, no, hold on. You know what? No, I just feel like I need to say it. Edgar Wright knows his music. This man just can pull out these random tracks or even well-known tracks, fit it in, and now that's the only way you think of them.
Correct. And I already gave my score, by the way. It's 4 to 5.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. My score is going to be an Edgar Wright out of 10. Also, this is going to be a bonus score. It's going to be a I have Barry Manilow from Baby Driver stuck in my head out of 10. And I need to watch that pretty soon again.
Fair enough. That's a powerful score, but I like it.
Oh, dude, you know I had to pull out the Barry Manilow for that.
I love me some Barry Manilow. Can't go wrong with
All right.
him.
Okay. So Last Night in Soho, I guess now Back to the Future, since that's the one we
Yeah, so
overlap
we
as
can
well.
start with one, and then I guess I'll just do the trilogy after that. Like we might as well bundle these all in together, right? So
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
yeah,
Back to the Future 1. This is a perfect movie. It's perfect. There's nothing you can do to touch it. Please, God, no one ever touch it. But also, if we get to like 70 years into the future and someone wants to remake it, I'm not going to be angry.
yeah. I definitely see this movie getting a remake in the future at some point. Like
It does. It fits it too
it's just
perfectly.
gonna
That's what I
happen.
hate about it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm with you. Back to the Future is pretty much as perfect of like a little action comedy, like just
It's the four quadrant movie. It's perfect.
yeah. Yeah, it's just got a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of everything, and it's just so perfectly done. Robert Zemeckis nails everything about this movie. Michael J. Fox is just, I love him. I miss him. He's so great in this role. Christopher Lloyd, it's just, it's perfect, like you said. It really is. It's
Mm.
fun.
Oh man, Alvin Silvestri fucking just pulled out so many stops for this. Like I feel like Alvin Silvestri probably doesn't get enough credit. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention he's a composer. I don't think that he gets enough credit for Back to the Future because
It's
you just
iconic.
hear this shit. Yes, you
The
hear
song,
this shit and you
the
just
theme is
know
iconic.
already.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da. Like you just hear it and then your mind takes you for the rest of the way.
No, it's absolutely iconic. And the biggest compliment I can give to Back to the Future 1 is that it really is, like, for me personally, it's infinitely rewatchable. If I'm ever
Yes,
bored on a day or it's rainy and I just want to throw on a movie, Back to the Future is never a bad choice. Like, it really isn't. I have
it's
seen
so
this movie
comfy.
so many times growing up. It used to be, I still remember, like on cable, there was a channel called TBS. I don't know if it's still there in the States or what, but
Should
it was
still
here
be.
in, yeah, it was here in Canada, and they would always play that fucking movie. Like it was on at least once a week, and I'd usually catch it on the weekends, and I fucking loved it. It's great.
I just rewatching it, I was like, my God, there is no fat on this movie whatsoever. This movie just keeps going. Every single scene has something that gives you information for something later on. And you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Edgar Wright probably watched Back to the Future 1 and said, I'm going to make my entire career that. And what I mean by that is that he probably went through and saw that Back to the Future just has so many little details that eventually lead into something later on when you didn't think it would. Like the fact that Doc Brown just mentions, yeah, this wasn't a mall before. This was old man Herbajanker, whatever his fucking name is. He had two pines. And of course, Marty shows up and runs over one of the pines, changes the timeline. And whenever he goes back to the mall, it's not called Two Pines Mall. It's called Lone Pine Mall. Like, it just has so much of that little small shit where you're like, there's no way that they're going to remember this. And yet they do. And here's the thing, it's something that you won't notice until you've watched this movie like 5 or 6 times. You're like, oh, hey, look, they changed that. So it's like this movie is just so many small little details put into a ridiculously tight script. Like, whoever wrote this screenplay, God help you, because like you are talented, you are fucking incredible status for being able to pull this shit off. Like I love this movie.
There's not a lot of negativity with this movie, and the funny thing is, I'm going to say something that's going to make me sound really stupid,
Oh no.
but that's okay. I do that on the daily.
Mm.
I actually did think before I rewatched these. Somehow, in the back of my mind, I was like, I think I prefer Back to the Future too. After rewatching them, that's not true. That's what,
Yes.
and I'll talk about that in a bit. I still like Back to the Future too, by the way, but
Yeah. Oh, I know.
this is definitely a better movie, and it is the best one, and there's no doubt about it. It's the perfect, just like you said, 4 quadrant movie. It's just anybody, no matter what fan of movies you are, you can watch this movie and enjoy it. There's no way you can't. Like it's just got a little bit of everything for everyone.
It's just so fun, and you know what? I'm gonna pull down my glasses here. I don't wear glasses, but like just imagine that I'm pulling down my glasses. Leia Thompson just
Oh boy, bonk.
just Yeah. Pull
No,
out,
I'm
pull
with
out
you
the
though.
bonk. But
I'm with you. You could seduce me any day.
this, I don't know how she played thirsty this well. We are just like, well, you know what? Yeah, that's your mom.
Yeah,
Stop it. You specifically, Michael J. Fox, you stop.
I can't blame her
Everyone else, though,
though.
good luck. Good luck.
Yeah,
You have no reason to stop. Good luck.
yeah. No shit. It's perfect. Perfect. Fucking,
I
oh
will
yeah,
say this. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
I was just gonna say fucking, shout out to Crispin Glover before you go crazy. Nice to see
Oh,
you.
Crispin Glover is just, he plays the perfect dork in this movie. Like, he the entire time, like, oh, Lorraine,
Yeah.
I'm your density.
Oh,
I
we
said
have
I'm your density.
oh my god, it's perfect. And while we're talking about him, we have to shout out the best bully of all time, Biff Tannen.
Oh my
Is
god.
there a better cinema bully than Biff? I don't know. He's pretty perfect.
Make like a tree and get out of here. It's like, you fucking moron.
Oh,
Dude,
I hate manure.
Biff is so good in this movie where he just makes it so easy to hate him and he doesn't even care. Oh, just him bullying both McFlys is just so good. I love how they always shoot him like he's fucking 7 feet tall anytime that he stands
Yeah.
up next to McFlys.
Yeah, it's great camera work.
Also, fuck him for trying to rape Lorraine. Like that guy
Yeah,
was
he
told.
was a
Yeah.
fucking asshole, man. Like he really was. He's horrible.
Also, how fucking Chad is it that you took the guy who might have raped your future wife, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna be my bitch for the next 2 decades.
Oh, it's awesome. Like that's the best turnaround. Biff, just make sure that car's nice and polished, okay? Two coats, two coats.
Well, oh no, is it like, yeah, no, don't worry, I'm on the second coat right now. He's like, Biff,
Yeah.
don't try to BS me. He's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'll get started right now. Like, how strong
It's
was that punch? How
so
strong was
great.
that punch that this man became a beta for the next 2 decades?
Yeah, it's so great. It's fantastic. You know what's funny too? I went
Mm.
and actually looked through Robert Zemeckis's
Oh
filmography
no.
after this.
Oh no. Please
Yeah,
don't.
not much, eh?
No.
Like not much at all. Like, okay, have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yes.
Do you okay, you don't like it either.
No, I
Oh,
really
thank
don't.
God. Okay, good. Because I was gonna say that's one of apparently the biggest hot takes, but I fucking hate that movie. I do not
I
like it.
don't
So
I don't like that movie because it just feels way too masturbatory about just putting
yeah,
Tom
I
Hanks
agree.
in past stuff, and it's like, this really isn't a movie.
Yep.
This is literally just Robert Zemeckis going like, "Hey, look, we can put Tom Hanks in old footage and it looks right." And then it's also like, "Hey, you remember this old thing?" And it's like, you know what? If you have nostalgia for this, it's probably gonna work for you. But like, I don't. I don't care about any of this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I remember liking when I was younger. I want to rewatch
It
that
is
at some
good.
point.
It is still good.
Yeah, so I want to rewatch that. And Castaway, funny enough, I actually have somewhat fond memories of that. I don't think it's a great
He
movie.
directed Castaway?
What's that? Oh, he directed Castaway. Yep.
Well, he direct
Yeah.
okay. Oh, you know
So
what? Probably
and I
that
like
one's
Castaway.
okay.
And I like Castaway. But yeah, nothing's come close to touching Back to the Future. Like no, nothing close. So
Okay, I know people like Romancing the Stone, so we're gonna give him that. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is okay. What I want to talk about with Robert Zemeckis is that I think the man just enjoys technology too much and gets lost into it, where he just ends up making the movies the focal point for that. So, like, Back to the Future. Like that is Back to the Future and Who Framed Roger Rabbit are the good blend of him wanting to do a lot with technology, but the
yeah,
movie still turning out good.
yeah.
Then you have movies like The Polar Express, Beowulf, and like Welcome to Marwin, where they
Yeah.
focus way too much on the technology and the movie just suffers because of it. Like, oh, Forrest Gump too. You know what? I'm throwing in Forrest Gump because I don't like it, and if you don't like it, well, too bad. I'm gonna talk shit. So all of those movies feel so much like it's like, oh man, look at all this technology. Honestly, Robert Zemeckis is just his entire career is just James Cameron on Avatar. Like that's it. Like it's literally
Yeah.
just focus on the technology and then we'll figure everything else out. Which is why I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of thinking that hey, I'm kind of hopeful that the Avatar sequels won't focus up so much on the technology that maybe we get something good out of it. Like I know you have differing opinions, but like I feel like since there's so many of them, there's no way that fucking all of them are going to be technology focused. like
God, I
fucking
hope
Robert
so.
Zemeckis has made his entire career.
God, I hope so. But yeah, I find it interesting. Funny enough, actually, I've never seen Beowulf or Welcome to Morrowind, and I probably never will.
I've never
Um,
seen either of them. The thing is that Beowulf, I remember specifically being a movie where the big advertising thing was that they just kind of like mocapped a man and then he didn't have to work out or anything. They just mocap muscles on him. And that was the big thing. And of course, because no one remembers Beowulf at all, I feel like that probably says everything it needs to. And then Welcome to Morrowind, I just remember watching the trailers and being so fucking creeped out to it. Do you remember this movie?
no, I actually don't think I've ever heard of it until you just mentioned it.
Dude, it is creepy as fuck. I just remember watching the trailers for this and I hate it, right? So
I'll have to
Steve
watch that.
Carell is in this movie. It's probably around the time where people started accepting that he can be a dramatic actor. He gets PTSD or something like that, right? And he has to he basically starts playing with dolls so he can recover. And the movie is done where they take actors' faces and put them on dolls, and it is the
Oh,
creepiest shit ever. Like it
yeah,
is
don't like that.
terrible. Oh,
Don't
dude,
like that.
whoever's listening to this, watch the trailer for Welcome to Morrowind. You're gonna feel so uncanny valley. Like I hate it. I can't stand that movie. And anytime I look at Steve Carell doll, I'm like, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. Too bad too. I actually don't mind serious Steve Carell. I really liked him
Oh
in
yeah.
what's the name of that movie? Fucking God, Foxcatcher. That was it. I like Foxcatcher. So
So I will say this though, I think he still has good movies in him because so at least Castaway doesn't focus on the technology. He did Flight too, and Flight is actually really good, and that one doesn't really have a focus on technology at all. Like it's just a fun drama starring I was about to say De Niro, but like that's because it just starts with a D.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington. Yes, thank you.
I've heard of that.
So
I
like
actually want to see that movie.
I've heard that The Walk wasn't bad either. I tried watching Allied, and Allied was like really boring. Like, I don't know, man. You would think that if you had Brad Pitt in love with Marion Cotillard, it turned out better, but not when it's directed by Robert Zemeckis, I guess. Um, so wait, what the fuck? Why does it say 3D? Why? Oh, fuck you. Okay, you know what? I just realized that Robert Zemeckis specifically shot The Walk to film it in 3D. Oh.
Oh God.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that. Apparently, he dedicated it to the 9/11 victims. Sure. Okay. Whatever. Fine. Okay. So, yeah, Robert Zemeckis. I just don't think as a director, he is a person that is focused on the movie itself. I think he just focuses too much on the technology where it ends up suffering through the movie itself.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I can definitely see that. And I guess we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute when we're done with
Yeah.
Back to the Future itself. But yeah,
Back to the Future, the only thing I want to say is that I'm not really a truck person, but that truck that Marty has at the end, I was like, "Ooh, you know what? I actually wouldn't mind one of those trucks. That's hot."
yeah, nice little truck. I'm still a DeLorean guy, man. Love that
Oh
DeLorean.
well, okay, well,
Classic.
yeah, of course, of course. Come on, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wouldn't want that DeLorean. Which, to be fair, is also fucking funny because the actual DeLorean in the movie is about as reliable as if you had an actual DeLorean. So that's always gonna be fucking funny to
It's
me.
true. They were very, very real to life with that.
But man, I feel like I just needed to shout out that truck because I don't think that truck gets enough love. Just it's a nice truck. I wouldn't mind having one.
Absolutely. I'm with
All
you
right.
there.
Back to the Future is going to be a no fat whatsoever, 100% beef out of 10.
Yeah, Back to the Future 1 is a 4.5 stars out of 5 for me. Just
Ooh, all
classic, classic movie.
right. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my negativity out of the way, just so then you can just go and gush all you want.
Go
Ba- uh,
nuts.
Back to the Future 2 feels a lot like they focused on the cool technology for the future, and then I just don't remember anything when it comes to whenever they're dealing in the future. I feel like the pacing drops really dramatically, and the fact that I remember that so clearly, even like I haven't watched this movie in a couple of years. The fact that even I remember being like, yeah, this is kind of boring. And then it isn't until like the alternate timeline that I feel like I start paying attention again. And then the ending with the Thunderstormers where I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And that's about it. So like Back to the Future 2 is just a movie that I really didn't want to watch. Honestly, when I bought the entire trilogy in Steelbook 4K and all that. Like, I specifically only kept one, and then I sold the other two. I was like, I'm fine. I know that both of you guys don't need to be in my collection. Back to the Future 3, I don't really remember it, honestly. I just don't. The only thing I remember about that movie now is that at the end, when Doc Brown has his kids, how one of the kids is just pointing at his dick. That's it. Like, that's the only thing I remember about that movie.
Oh my
Uh,
god, it's okay. I'll talk about that in a minute.
okay, so Back to the Future 2 and 3 are the score that I'm going to give them is going to be a I feel about these movies the way that people feel about the Matrix sequels out of 10.
That's actually a good score. I like that. Okay,
The problem is that
so
I
let's
like the Matrix sequels, so
yeah, fair. So I'll be a little bit more positive. Back to the
yes,
Future
go for
Part
it.
2. So I actually really like Back to the Future Part 2. It's certainly not as good as the first one that I found out upon
Yep.
rewatch. I still like it a lot though. It's Here's the thing. You're right. Like it is definitely a lot more focused on the technology of stuff. But for me, it just works because in the future, cars go room and hover and hoverboards and stuff like that. And I don't know. I've always been a mark for the stuff in the future. I love it. So like it's
Cargo
cool.
hover.
It's Yeah, exactly. Car goes hover. I go room. It's not as well paced as the first one. You're absolutely correct on that matter. But it's still a lot of heart. What I find interesting, so Back to the Future 2 and 3 were shot back to back, directed
Mhm.
back to back, or whatever, shot, excuse me.
Yeah, film,
Um,
shot, whatever.
yeah. But what I find fascinating about that is I feel like Back to the Future 2 and 3 feel like completely different fucking movies. Like they're
Yeah,
so fucking different to me. And that's what I found the most fascinating about rewatching all these. 2 is just batshit insane. Like all the different timelines mixing and
yeah,
all this different shit's happening. And it's just, there's not a moment to breathe. And there's just all this fucking crazy shit happening. Where 3 is played as a lot more straight, linear kind of one. It's really
yeah,
strange that they did these back to back to me. But yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate the batshit insanity of 2. I think it's a lot of fun. The only, like I said, the stuff in the future is just very easily for me to get behind and enjoy and like. You still got all the iconic sounds. You still get your iconic moments of Biff driving into manure. You get the worst Biff where he's just out here murdering fucking
Mhm.
people. Like he
Yep.
doesn't give a shit at this point because he's got the Almac and he's back in the past. He's rich and powerful now because of what happened. It fucked up in the future, and it's just insane, honestly. But it's fun.
Biff goes full on insane
Oh
man
yeah,
in the alternate timeline.
oh yeah. This is like the worst Biff. The worst. Also, fun fact: Elijah Wood's in this movie. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, he's the little kid at the arcade, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that. It's funny. But yeah, it's still a very enjoyable movie for me. It's 3.5 stars out of 5. Definitely a step down from the first one. I don't know what crackhead thought in my mind made me think this was better than the first because it's not. But it's still very good and I enjoyed it. So
Hold
that's
on. I
2.
I want to give it an extra score. I'm gonna give it an Elliot Alderson's favorite movie of all time out of 10.
Yeah, good score. Um,
I just remembered it. I had to throw it out.
yeah, watch Mr. Robot, by the way.
Yes, Mr.
But
Robot is great. It's probably better than Back to the Future 2 and 3, which honestly I don't think is a controversial statement.
no, it's not. It's not. It's better than Back to the Future 1, probably even too. But
Oh, I don't know
we
about
don't
that one.
we don't
Oh,
we
that
don't
one.
need to debate
Oh, please no. I can't. I can't. No, 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 no. Moving on. Moving on. Nope. My
So yeah,
mind.
that's all I
Ah!
really have to say about Back to the Future 2. I'm moving on. We're good. We're good. Back to the Future 3. So okay, I got at the top. I'm just gonna refer to my notes.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
Ask Ed if he knows about the kid pointing to his dick. So that was already answered. I'm glad we got that one out of the way and answered because that's the most important thing from this movie. I don't understand. Like I still I want an explanation to this, but there's never been an explanation. It boggles my mind. I don't understand. He
It's a
like he
very
like he like
emotional moment.
he
You
like
can point at your
he
dick.
he like grab like you can't see what I'm doing, but he like kind of like he does the rock like just bring it, and then
Yep.
like points to his dick. I don't get it. It baffles my mind. It's one of the biggest cinematic mysteries of all time for me. Why is this kid pointing at his dick? And I
He
mean that's
just
the highlight
knew.
of the movie, so that kind of tells you what you need to know. Honestly, it's not bad. I'll jump ahead to the rating. I gave it 3 out of 5, but I think it's fine. It's competent, but it's not one. If I rewatch the trilogy, which I probably will again at some point, I'll probably just skip this one. Honestly, it's just I don't know. It's the weakest of them for me.
Yeah.
I like the Wild West. I don't like Wild West comedies, I guess is the way to
Yeah.
put it. And there's
That's what
just
it
something
is.
about a comedy in the Wild West that I don't have interest in. So the setting for me isn't as appealing. This is the longest one, which it doesn't need to be the
Really?
longest one. It's too long. It's not paced well. there's just a lot of issues with it. Now, they do tie it up nice when you get to the ending. I mean, besides the kid pointing his dick, everything else is really well done there.
No, what are you talking about? That was the
Um,
best part.
yeah, true. So yeah, it's just, to me, definitely a missed opportunity for this one, and I'm glad they kind of did this, and we're like, okay, we're done now. We're not going to do anymore, and they never did anymore, and I'm glad for that.
Okay, hold on. I gotta check this. Is okay. So Back to the Future Part Two is the shortest one, and there's only a 3 minute difference between Back to the Future One and Part Three in runtime. So in other words, what I think you're telling me is that the pacing is way worse in Part Three.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Like, it definitely, part one feels like an hour and a half. If you, tight, very
Dude,
tight.
that feels like an hour.
Yeah, even if that, you're right. And part three feels like it's a 2 hour movie, which it close is too, and it's too long. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Back to the Future 3. I already gave the score. I'm not gonna. I don't have another joke score for this. I can't do it. You know what?
Yeah,
No, hold on. No, a joke score. I'm red. Go play Red Dead 2 out of 10.
yeah. I said all I need to about that. Just, look, YouTube the scene with the kid pointing at his dick, because that's
Shit,
fascinating.
that's a better score.
Yeah, out of 10.
All right.
All
Okay.
right,
What other overlap do we have, or
that's it.
is that
That's it.
okay? All right. So Back to the Future, you took it there at the end, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on to mine. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Saw.
You
I
want to play a
can't
game?
believe, I cannot believe that these are fucking hilarious. They are comedies. These movies are forced to just keep going with the exact same continuity, and I love them for it. Holy shit. You know what? Just okay. I'm gonna sum this up really quickly because I'm probably gonna have to go into spoilers. So, Saw 4 through 7 are fucking incredible movies. They are terrible, yes, but they're like really fun times. So, if you have the stomach for them, highly recommended. Go in ready to laugh, right? So, Saws 4 through 7, enjoyable. Jigsaw and Spiral are fucking boring, and that is nothing I want to associate with the Saw movies. So there it is. That's where I stand on it. You haven't watched past 4, right? And you didn't like 4 when you watched in theaters.
Correct.
Okay, all
So
right. So
yeah.
cool. Summed up there. Now, somewhat spoilers from here. So, Saw 3 is like the fucking nexus point. It is the most important moment in the entire Saw universe, and it's fucking comedic. So, of course, you probably remember the last episode. I was really hopeful, and then I just started looking into the cast. I was like, oh no, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Right? So, Saw 3, the one thing that I didn't realize is that the last 5 minutes of Saw 3 are important for the next three movies. And it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. And the real funny thing is that Saw 3, whenever it has the last 5 minutes kind of zoom by where you're like, oh my God, I don't really understand what's going on anymore. And it's so fucking funny because what I thought was originally like just some really bad editing was then mined for three more movies to make everything more complicated. Like, we're talking that Saw 4 happens concurrently to Saw 3. We're talking that Saw 5 happens literally like an hour during Saw 3 and then like an hour after Saw 4. And then we're talking about Saw 6 that happens literally minutes after Saw 3 and then goes like maybe a day or two after it. Like, it's if you had these things stacked up above each other in a timeline, they overlap so many fucking times that I was cackling at how they started tying these things together. It is hilarious. Saw 4, they introduce another fucking Jigsaw apprentice, and like the next few movies are this man fighting for Jigsaw's legacy versus his wife versus Amanda, and there's this versus the police, and all three of these people in a just square of stupidity fighting for Jigsaw's legacy, and it is the funniest shit ever because all of these people just they're just making some of the stupidest decisions. You're like, you don't really need to do this. You can just leave. Like, you can leave and you can just never be found. Like, they have enough business with the other people. The cops don't can't leave, so like they're stuck in it. But the two Jigsaw apprentices, Jigsaw's wife, they can just leave at any point. But no, they still do it all of this, and it's some of the funniest shit because the actual straight up lore behind the Saw movies is fucking hilarious. Like, okay, so slight spoilers. In Saw 4, right? You find out that Jigsaw was going to have a baby, and his wife lost the baby when a crackhead opened the door too hard and it hit her stomach, which I'm not gonna lie, I hate that that made me laugh. Like, it's done so over dramatically that I couldn't help but laugh. And then we find out, like in Saw 6, that Amanda was involved in somehow. And I was cackling because there's no way this was ever the plan that Amanda in Saw 1 killed Jigsaw's baby on accident. I was laughing my ass off during most of these movies. And by the way, just Saw 7. Saw 7 actually feels like, okay, you know what? We should probably wrap this up. And Saw 7 easily is one of the movies that understood everything that the Saw movies were. Like, the opening, though, holy shit, Dorian, I cannot tell you that I think that's probably my favorite trap in the entire series, and it's the funniest shit ever. Do you remember any of the trailers for Saw 7 or no?
No, God, no.
No, okay. So I remember specifically from the trailers that it's like they make it look like the Jigsaw games are like like they're a plague. Like, oh man, they're really starting to pop off just randomly, right? Everyone's a Jigsaw killer, so now these games are popping up everywhere. And these two guys wake up in like this glass box and they're playing a game in front of public in daylight. Which, by the way, man, Saw looks even. If you thought Saw looked cheap in nighttime, you can't wait for daytime and see how cheaper it looks even there. So it's two guys, they're being cheated on by the same girl, right? And what's going on is that the woman who's cheating on both of them is strapped to the top of the roof, and they both have to fight to push blades towards each other to try and kill the other. And what this woman does, by the way, this is going to lead into something else. This woman is a piece of shit. She notices that one guy is winning, and so she looks and is like, "Hey, baby, you're the one that I love. You're the real one." And he starts pushing even harder. But as soon as the other guy starts showing that he's stronger, she would look at him and be like, "Oh my God, actually, you know what? I was just messing with him. I was lying. You're the real strong one. You're the one I actually care about." And what ends up happening is that they go bros over hoes, and they both decide to kill her and just not play the game, and she dies. And it's some of the funniest shit to watch in real time. And the reason that I mention this is because it's a microcosm of almost the rest of these movies, which is that they have these games that probably have the easy way out, which thankfully they took the easy way out. And what happens is that all these games involve just some terrible people that whenever you see them getting mutilated, it's so satisfying. You just have Jigsaw come out and be like, "Hey, you rape kids. Fuck you." And then the game starts. And it's some of the funniest shit to just see all this. And then all these actors are so terrible. They're so bad. And what I love about it is that whenever they're speaking, terrible actors, but everyone can scream. So whenever they're screaming, you're like, "Oh, okay, this is still fun." Like, I cannot believe that by the way, I'm segueing again. The Jigsaw apprentice, his name is Hoffman. Hoffman is a fucking legend. This man is absolutely batshit insane, and I love his inclusion in all of this. And like Saw 7, oh my god, that felt so satisfying of a conclusion that honestly, I wish they would have just left this dead. Like nah. Like I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying it, but like the Saw movies 1 through 7 are actually really dumb and enjoyable. They are the horror Fast and Furious, where if you like horror, Saw movies are bad, but they're still really enjoyable. I like car action, so I like the Fast and the Furious. You don't like car action, so that's going to be a complete miss for you. Extra points for hating Vin Diesel. You, on the other hand, enjoy horror, so you will probably really enjoy these. And so I have to say that Saws 1 through 7, if you watch those, you're going to be laughing your ass off at some of these. And then Jigsaw and Spiral, the less said about them, the better. Jigsaw honestly tries to kind of follow the same path of like retconning something back into the other movies, but Jigsaw is shot so cleanly where it's like, no, this looks like there's money behind it. That's bad. And Jigsaw is just it's so boring, honestly. Like all the people that are there, like there's nothing about them that makes you want to see them die. So it's like, I don't really know why we're doing this. They try to retcon it, but it's done so poorly where it's like, yeah, well, here's a retcon. Like it's done so half-heartedly. It's like, no, no. If you're gonna retcon, I want you to do some insane shit where it's like, yeah, you know what, Jigsaw, he was a fucking Marine like in the 60s and he met this one dude that he was supposed to kill in Vietnam, but then he took him under his wing and started training him for the next 4 decades. Go fucking insane if you're gonna retcon. Don't do this half-ass shit. So Jigsaw, a miss. Spiral, boring. Just fucking boring. This is the first movie that I started just like skipping through to get forward. I read the Wikipedia summary. I was like, well, okay, maybe there's something at the end that I want to see. And it kind of made me sad because one of the things I saw was that someone got flayed and they didn't even show the body that they flayed. And I was like, well, that's really fucking disappointing. So Jigsaw sucks. Spiral sucks. Saw 1 through 7, they are fucking comedic gems. Now, if I had to say what was probably the worst one, it's either going to be 2 or 6. 5 is the best one. And the reason 5 is the best one is because 5 is the one that deals with the most of infighting between people trying to fight over Jigsaw's legacy. And the game itself is fucking comedic that they play. Like the game that all the people who are stuck in the trap is some of the funniest shit ever. Where, dude, the movie is a fucking commentary on government corruption. It's funny as hell. And the way that these people handle themselves, they are just the worst people ever. And it's just so satisfying to see all of that. Saw 5 also has probably the game that deals the least with the actual shit that's happening in the real storyline with like the Jigsaw's legacy and all that shit. So because of the absolute terrible nature of Saw 5, it is one of the best. Easily it's the stupidest. I love that one so much.
I feel like I need a lobotomy after hearing all that. I don't know. Is that like, does that happen in any of the Saw movies? A
Um
lobotomy?
Saw 4 opens with them taking out Jigsaw's organs just to confirm, no, no, he's dead. He's dead. And then every movie afterwards is like, yeah, Jigsaw's dead, but that doesn't stop us from using flashbacks.
Look, I'll be completely honest. I will probably never watch these movies, but I'm glad
Damn
you
it.
enjoyed them. I'm
Damn
very
it.
glad you enjoyed them.
Dorian, I swear you will be cackling at these. Like that's the thing. If you enjoy a good amount of stupidity, right?
I do, but it's tougher for me because here's the thing, and this is where I think me and you
Diverge.
diverge a little bit. Fuck, I'm stupid, but yeah, diverge a little bit. I mean, I have Saw on the brain now. I can't think of any words or meaning or life.
It's okay, neither could the writers. Well, actually,
Yeah,
no, no,
fair.
no. I will be nice because it has to take a really galaxy brain way to figure out gaps in the old movies and then being like, yeah, do you know
Fair.
how much shit we can fit in that gap?
A lot, apparently. um, but here's the problem I have. Look, like when I look at, I'll give you an example. When I look at a fucking Neil Breen movie, these are all original
Mhm,
movies that are fucking ridiculous, and I can find enjoyment in laughing at this shit.
mhm.
With Saw, I actually really like Saw 1. I think it's a legitimately good movie, and I actually really enjoy Saw 2. I think it's a legitimately good movie. So
How
when
long
I
how
go,
recently did you watch Saw 2 though?
it's been a while. You've sent me a copy of Saw 1.
Mhm,
After you watch that, I might actually go and check out Saw 2 again. But I remember
mhm,
really liking him. And to me, even if, let's say on rewatch, I don't like Saw 2 as much, I still like
mhm.
Saw 1. And then you take this thing that didn't really need to be a franchise and make a bunch of movies. I don't know, man. Even if I laugh at them, I'm just going to be like, well, why? Like, why couldn't you have done something else? And
Because horror movies are so low budget that if you make money off
yeah.
of them, the return on investment is still always worth it.
And now I went down this path already, and I mean, I don't know, maybe I don't think you've seen any of these, so I don't know what you would think of them. But I went down this path with the Paranormal Activity franchise, and I watched every one of those fucking movies, and they just
But
get progressively worse and stupider, and there's no enjoyment for me in it.
okay, but here's the thing though. Are those movies like actually like the Saw movie specifically, the reason why I feel like I can recommend it is that it is this base level of like this has to be like some Kaiser Soze level amount of brilliance to figure out how to reach these levels of stupidity. Like
Yeah.
I seriously, true, like, I'm not even joking when I say that they go back and weave this shit in so far back. You're like, how did you even think of that? Like, even the traps themselves can have like some huge flaw in them that's like, wow, how did you not think of that? But because the people are so stupid, it ends up becoming funnier.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, if they ever if one day all of them go on Amazon Prime, let's say, or something like that, then maybe I'll check them out. But I'm not going out of my way to watch these. It's just not happening.
Don't you're
But
just
I'm
gonna
glad
make
you.
me find these
I'm
on Blu-ray and just send them to you.
yeah. It's this. Yeah. I mean, I mean, if that happens, if they just end up in my lap, I'll watch them. But that's basically how it's gonna have to happen. Because, like I said, I ain't going out of my way to watch this shit.
Dude,
But I'm glad you
I
enjoyed it.
dude, I can't wait to hopefully get these copies to you, and you get to Saw 5 and 6 and 7, and you're cackling. Like, you don't
Uh,
understand the joy these movies gave me. I could like, here's the thing, of course, all of October, I was gonna just try and watch movies that not were terrifying, but were terrifying to me, which is
yeah. Right.
boring movies. And the
Right.
fact that the Saw movies, I went just thinking, "This is gonna be terrible, I'm gonna be bored, I'm just gonna literally be wasting my time." And the fact that every single movie gave me something new where I was like, dude, it is comedic because like the final scene of Saw 3 is like 6D chess by the time that you're done with Saw 7. Like that moment is the big bang of the entire series, and it's the I can't believe like, I can't wait to rewatch them with my best friend because, like, I told him, like, "Dude, these are fucking hilarious. We're gonna be laughing our asses off." Like, I cannot wait to rewatch that scene and just think, "Oh, yeah, because he did that, then that means that in Saw 4 and then Saw 6." Like, it's oh my god, I can't even. I I'm gonna have to find a fucking copy.
Well, like I said, I'm very glad you enjoyed them. I love hearing this. I love hearing this positivity out of you, and I can't wait to hear it all evaporate when we talk about Transformers later.
Don't worry, there'll be a bright spot there. Okay, Saw 1 through 7. I'm going to give them a this is cinema out of 10, right? But
I'm gonna give it a. They should have canceled it after 1 out of 10. That's my rating.
uh, Jigsaw and Spiral, I'm gonna give those a you really shouldn't have fucking done this out of 10.
I'll give that a what the fuck is a Chris Rock doing in a Saw movie out of 10. It's still weird
A
to me.
Apparently he really likes, the Saw movies.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I heard.
uh,
You think you would have
it's
made a
really
better one
weird.
though, if that was the
Yeah, yeah,
case.
yeah. No fucking kidding. He got the actual director back for like 2 through 4, and like no one understood the appeal. So good fucking
Yeah,
job. Great.
yeah, missed it.
Okay, so Saw movies, those are done. Move on. Your turn.
Yeah, let's continue like with a little horror Halloween block, and I'll do Halloween Kills right now then,
All right, go for
since
it.
we're talking about gory shit and violence and all that nonsense.
Mm,
Halloween Kills. Look, here's the thing with Halloween Kills. It's a fun movie. It's basically the sequel. I mean, the Halloween timeline's so confusing now, but basically in this new reboot, you've got the original John Carpenter Halloween. Then the sequels never happened. Then you've got the
mm.
reboot Halloween movie that came out. So that's basically the sequel to the original John Carpenter Halloween. And now you've got Halloween Kills, which is the middle part of a trilogy of new Halloween movies. Hope that
Oh,
makes somewhat sense.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's confusing, man. Look, here's the thing. It's just dumb horror fun, and like I think it's not bad. There's some good stuff to it. Like the kills are great. Like if you're looking for just gory, like just crazy kills, they're fun. I think you got linked that one clip of the girl shooting herself, which is
You
fucking
fucking
fantastic.
funny as shit. Oh
There's
my god. I felt like I just watched
yeah.
the entire movie that all I needed was just that.
Yeah, there's some really creative stuff like that. Like basically they're like I swear the writers for this movie were like, "Okay, we need a middle movie. What can we do?" Well, guys, why don't we just like introduce a bunch of people here and just kill every single person except like the main character and have them like set up for the third movie. Okay, that sounds good. And let's roll with that. And that's basically what they did here. There's just some like there's just some giant stupid leaks of logic in this movie. So before I get into spoilers, just overall thought, I think it's a decent movie. It's fun. Do you need to see this in theaters? Absolutely not. But if you're in the mood for just like some gore and just stupidity and horror and want to turn your brain off, it's you could do worse. So that's my overall thoughts. Do you have anything else to say, or should I jump into spoilers?
The only thing I will say is that I went to finally go meet my cousin and his girlfriend. I found out that his girlfriend is actually really into movies, and I was like, "Oh, she's deep in." As soon as we got into the car, I think I started talking about movies, and then the first movie she pulled up was Halloween. I was like, "Ah, yeah, about that. I haven't seen it." And she's like, "Can you really be into movies if you haven't watched John Carpenter's Halloween?" I was like, "Oh, fuck, I got called out. All right, goddamn." And like, I had to immediately go on the defensive and just pull out all the other shit that I watched, but because my honor was besmirched, I have to now go find John Carpenter's Halloween in 4K, and I'm gonna go find the original, watch that, and probably never watch anything else again.
That's
So,
fair.
from a series that was never on my radar to me being insulted that now I have to watch it, that's the only touchstone that I have with Halloween.
Fair enough. Which, by the way, the John Carpenter one is the best out of any of these. It's an absolute classic. It's maybe my favorite John Carpenter movie, so I think you'll really appreciate it. But yeah, okay, I'll jump to spoilers then.
Go for it.
Hold on. Okay, so basically, in three, two, one. Yeah, they kill the mother character at the very end. She's dead. There you go. Everybody dies in this movie. But yeah, look,
Dead.
it's just literally like everybody dies, and my big, like, one of the biggest problems I have with this movie is just how stupid some of the plot lines get. There's basically in the movie, Michael Myers escapes, and I guess some other like insane dude that looks nothing like Michael Myers, that is this short looking old fuck, also escapes at the same time off of a insane asylum bus, and somehow people confuse this guy for Michael Myers. They think he's Michael Myers, and I don't understand the leap of logic to get there. Like, Michael Myers is this tall motherfucker. Anyone who's seen him knows that. But everybody thinks this short ass looking motherfucker with old gray hair and is fat, they think he's Michael Myers. And there's this scene where he's basically locked in a hospital with everyone, and everyone's chasing him, and everybody thinks he's Michael Myers. And of course, the mother, who's actually the mother of the daughter in the movie, she's actually seen Michael Myers, knows that this isn't Michael Myers, and she's trying to tell everyone, no, guys, this isn't Michael Myers. But everybody in the hospital, mob mentality, is like, oh, we've got Michael Myers, we've got to kill him. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight. And it's just so stupid because there's obviously no way this is Michael Myers. And then there's supposed to be this sad scene where he fucking, the guy who they're mistaking for Michael Myers, like, just jumps out the window of the hospital and kills himself. And they're all just like, oh, that actually wasn't Michael Myers, we're bad people. And I'm like, holy fuck, yeah, no shit, guys. Like, you're all retards, I'm sorry, but you are. Oh, it was painful. Like, that entire side plot easily brings down this movie for me. Like, it's just, and thankfully it's like probably like 15-20 minutes of the movie, it's not in it that much, but it's so fucking bad, and I don't know why it's there. Probably to pad it out, because honestly, they didn't need to make this a full movie. But I don't know. It's fun in the parts where you're just getting Michael Myers killing people. There's some really cool creative stuff there, but it's clearly just a setup for the third movie. So I'll watch it because I've seen the other two and I'm invested in it now. But yeah, it's just
Okay,
stupid.
so now I have to ask, have you seen the honest trailer for Halloween Kills?
No, I haven't. I should watch that. It's probably gonna be good.
Okay, I'm just gonna send it to you because this is the only thing I've watched for it, and this is the second time that I saw the kill shot, and I'm not gonna lie, that was funny as
Oh
hell,
yeah,
and everything that you mentioned were spoilers that they had mentioned as well, and it is so fucking funny to
yeah, I gotta
me.
watch that. Then it's
Oh,
it's
dude,
just there's just weird stuff in there. There's like randomly, like, do you know who Michael McDonald is?
Michael McDonald. No.
So he's in this movie. He was in Mad TV. I don't know if you ever watched Mad TV. That's where I know him from. He was pretty, actually, like, a
Nope.
big player in that. He's been in some other stuff. But anyways, he's randomly in the, and I mean randomly, but he's randomly in this fucking movie as like a gay guy with his gay couple, and they're just kind of in
Mhm.
it like so randomly, and like Michael Myers just comes and like slaughters them both. It's just off the left field. I'm like, I don't understand, like, why your characters are here, why you're getting so much screen time, and then you're just fucking murdered in the most brutal fashion.
I mean,
I don't know,
obviously,
man.
Michael Myers hates the gays.
Yeah, clearly that's actually, I think there were some people complaining about that unironically,
Oh,
but
Jesus.
of course. But yeah, it's just bizarre. But yeah, there's like it's just this movie. Like I appreciate almost how mean spirited it is. Like at the end of the first movie, you get the girl and her boyfriend, like they're the teenagers. They basically kind of break up because he's being a douche. Then at the second movie, they get back together. Like he's sorry, he loves her, all this shit. They're like trying to get Michael Myers with their dad, and then they finally find him at the end of the movie in his old house. Like the dad just gets brutally murdered right away. Then like they both
Sick.
go in. He gets fucking brutal. Like he doesn't get murdered, but he gets like beaten the shit out of, and then his head is just kind of caught in like the fucking banister, like when he's going down the stairs.
Mm.
And she's just like, no, don't kill him. And he's just kind of like punching him and like not killing him, but just like torturing him. And she's like, no, don't do it. Get me instead. And then this scene lasts for like 3 minutes. And finally, like, he's just about to get to her, and he kind of looks, and then he turns around, goes back up, snaps his head, and then goes back to her. It's just so fucking mean spirited. I kind of love it at times, but yeah.
Okay, I hate that everything you're saying makes me feel like I can push Saul even harder.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, it's probably what it'll be, honestly. I don't know. I feel like Halloween, I just kind of wrote myself into this because I actually liked the 2018 reboot quite a bit.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's okay. Like I'm done. I don't really have anything more to say on it. It was fun. So 3 stars out of 5.
My score is gonna be, I recommend the Halloween Kills Honest trailer out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. That sounds great. So yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take it from here. I'm gonna bundle Scream and Scary Movie together because that's how I watch them.
All right.
My wife had never seen Scream. She had never seen Scary Movie, I think. I don't remember that part. But I decided to watch Scream, and you know what? I'm just gonna say it. She's a little bitch when it comes to horror, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can be a little whore about bitch. There's you can be a little whore about bitch.
There'll be a whole horror about bitch. Wow. All right.
You can be a little bitch about a horror, okay? Completely understandable. I just know that it's not going to be everyone's bag. I just like the term little bitch, so it's not supposed to be insulting or anything. It's just what it is, okay? So she's a little bitch about horror. So we watched Scream, and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the meta aspect of it. I'm not going to lie, that's just like a really sharply well written script. Like it is just a good slasher movie while still also making fun of slasher movies, and it's great. Also, just because I don't really want to dwell too much time on this or either movie, honestly, I just want to say that I love that the killer in Scream is like clumsy as hell. Like this man just gets beaten his ass throughout this entire movie, tripping on everything, being pushed over. All these teenage girls are strong enough to fight him back at least a little bit. Like I love this killer. Like he's
Yeah.
honestly one of my favorite ones, right? So Scream, very well, sharply written, all that, blah blah blah. My wife is a little bitch, and because she was like, "Oh, I'm a little scared," I was like, "Nah, nah, you know what? You're not gonna be scared. We're gonna watch Scary Movie now, okay? You're gonna see this shit." And Scary Movie is actually still shockingly really funny. The only thing is that at the end in the third act, it goes a little bit too deep end and it becomes every scary movie that happens after, where it just becomes way too much referential humor where it's like,
Yeah.
you're really losing it a little bit. Like the ending basically ends up being just a reference to the Matrix and a reference to the usual suspects, and it kind of loses the plot because it does. Then it's like, you didn't really need to do any of
Yeah.
this.
You,
Which,
you
by the way,
date
the funny thing
yourself when
is
you.
that I'll go for it.
I was just gonna say you date yourself when you do stuff like that too. It's not smart.
I mean, the other thing is that I haven't seen The Usual Suspects, but like that's the thing.
You've
I
never
just
seen The Usual Suspects?
yes, I know. Look, this is what I'm
Can you
saying,
call
man. There's
yourself a movie fan if you
fucking
haven't seen
shit.
the
Stop it. No,
Yeah.
stop it. Okay. You know what? I don't want to support Brett Ratner. There we go. You want to
That's
try and
fair.
fight me on this one?
No, that's actually fair. Good movie though.
No, I know. Look, The Usual Suspects is a good one. I know I'll get to it, but come on, that's my ace in the hole whenever someone tells me to go watch it. I will
That's
watch it at
fair.
some point, but that's like my
That's fair.
good defense of like, hold on. Hold your horses there. So, but through cultural osmosis, I know that they were parroting at the end. So,
Yeah.
yeah, right. But it just kind of makes me sad because the rest of the movie is obviously a full-on reference to Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Which, by the way, when I look this up, apparently they share the same scriptwriter. So, hey, funny. Um, That at least is the baseline for the entire movie, so it's okay. Whenever they throw just random references like that at the end, I was like, "Ah, you kinda lost me." But, like, the rest of the movie, I'm actually kinda shocked at how funny it is. So, that's all I have to say about those 2.
Yeah, I'll touch on them briefly. Scream is great. I remember really enjoying it, but I haven't seen it in so long. It's actually sad because they released a new 4K steelbook cut. I was gonna get you to
Yep.
get it for me, but it's sold out, and now it's just ridiculous prices everywhere. So I'm like, I'm not paying that because I would have liked to
I
rewatch it, but
I think they'll probably get a
I,
restock. Like, it just feels
I
like
hope
one
so.
that will.
Yeah, it's still sitting on the Best Buy site, so that's a positive. They haven't like deleted it like the thing, so I think it could still come. But
Hmm.
yeah, anyways, I do want to rewatch that at some point. Scary Movie, that's one that actually funny was I watched it I think a few years ago now. It's been a bit, but I still thought it was really funny. It held up for the most part. It's the best of the, like those parody movies like that. There's so many of them, and most of them are absolutely atrocious, but that one was like the OG one, and it was pretty funny and really well done. So uh good to see that holds up well, somewhat well anyways, except for the end. And yeah, it's good shit.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm always gonna be a little bit mad about this movie because this movie is what killed parody movies because everyone
Yeah,
learned the wrong lessons from it.
it's true. It's true. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay. So yeah, Scream. You know, I'm sorry, Scream. You probably didn't deserve this. You probably deserve more time, but I'm sorry. You're just really good. I don't want to dwell. Scream is going to be a very sharply written script out of 10. And Scary Movie is going to be a God, parodies are dead out of 10.
Scream and Scary Movie would both be like 3 stars out of 5 for me. So, but I do want to rewatch Scream because that might raise. I don't think Scary Movie would, but Scream might raise. So,
Oh, Scream would. Time has been very kind to it.
yeah.
All right,
All right.
back to you.
Yeah. So let's keep with the horror motif and talk about American Psycho, shall we? Uh,
Ooh.
yes. First of all, have you seen this movie?
All right. Now, this is one movie that I know I've seen. I just
Okay.
don't remember it that much. So feel free to speak as freely
Cool.
as you'd like. The one thing I just want to mention, because there's a short story attached to this, like somewhere between 15 to like 18 while I was still watching TV. My parents had Dish Network. One of the channels that became like my new god was the IFC channel, the Independent
Ah,
Film Channel.
yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
that channel gave me so much life because while they still did have commercials, all their movies were uncut and uncensored. And I was like, this is the fucking best because I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to get really annoyed of censoring movies, just like, oh, these are curse word. Oh, we're gonna cut out this scene because we just can't figure out how to properly censor it. And what really broke with the camel's back with that for me was that when I realized that not only were they cutting out scenes for content, they were cutting out scenes to shorten the runtime. That was the moment where I was like, there are actual movies that I've seen that I probably have never watched fully because I watched it on TV because they cut out scenes to cut the runtime. And I was like, you fuckers. So like IFC didn't do that. If they had to have like a weird movie that was like 2-7 or something like that, and they had to bundle up commercials more to get it to the half-hour mark, then they'll do it. And I'm like, yes, please fucking do that. I'd rather watch more commercials and see nothing uncut than the alternative. That's all I had to say. And the entire reason I brought it up is that American Psycho is how I watched it through IFC. Continue.
Beautiful. And bless IFC. We had that channel here too.
Fuck
Good
yeah.
channel. But yeah, okay. So let's start very surface level before we dive into spoilers. This movie's
Mm.
really fucking great. I love this movie. Like this movie is just a classic to me. There's a lot to like about this movie, and I find the story of it somewhat fascinating because the director of this movie, she's really never done anything else, and she doesn't really like the movie all that much. She
Ooh.
actually hates how the ending came across, which I love. So I find that fascinating. And there's just yeah, so there's a really interesting story behind this. Obviously, it's very different from the book too. Like it's a very different departure from the book. Again, fuck the books. I don't care about the books, but
Correct. Fuck
there's
books.
that as well. I mean, you've got Christian Bale at maybe his best here. He's just so great in this role. You've got fucking Justin Thoreau randomly in this movie, who the
Ooh.
leftovers. I love you, Justin. So it's so great to see him here.
Call us back,
And yet,
please.
what's that?
No, I said call us back, please.
Yeah, call us back. Reese Witherspoon's randomly in this movie. Fucking Chloe Sevigny, who I've always liked her. Uh, Jared Leto's in the fucking movie playing a perfect role for fucking Jared Leto.
Yeah, oh, don't worry. It's a perfect role for him.
Yeah, it is a perfect role for him. So just I love this movie. If you've never seen this movie, like I'm gonna count down into spoilers here shortly, but give this movie a shot. It's a movie that everyone should see. You might fucking hate it because it's a tough movie, but it's very good. So with that being said, I'm gonna go into spoilers here. Three, two, one. I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious that he's actually a psychopath and killing all these people. But
Yes.
I think it's interesting that there's a debate about that and that they do leave it a
No.
bit ambiguous. Um, no, what?
No, no, no. I do agree with the fact that he is okay, so that's the thing. Even though I don't remember this movie, I just
Yeah.
okay. I remember the ending more than anything else because I know he goes mad and just starts killing fucking
Yes.
everyone, and then no
Yes.
one cares. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's the whole point of the movie. The whole point is
Exactly.
that no one cares.
Exactly. The one thing I find interesting, and this theory I can kind of subscribe to a bit. I think he kills everyone in the movie except for Jared Leto's character. That one I don't think he actually kills. And I think there's enough proof in the movie to actually substantiate that claim. But I think every single other person that you see him murder or that he claims to murder, he does murder. But the one person, then that's why everybody thinks he's joking, is because that is a fantasy of his. He wants to kill him, but he's one of the
Mhm.
important people, so he can't kill him. So that's what I find interesting. And even the director herself agrees with that. And she said in the past, like, man, I hate that I left this ambiguous enough that people actually don't think that he killed those people. No, he fucking killed those people. She said that. So, but that being
I
said, I think it's still fascinating the way it's shot, the way it's done here. The kills are just so like great. You got fucking Huey Lewis in the news blasting as
Mhm.
he's just fucking rationing people with a
The
fucking
beast square.
axe. Oh, it's fucking great. It's funny watching this and then Back to the Future for different reasons. A lot of good Lewis in the news there though. The chainsaw scene is just fucking fantastic and such a classic scene, chasing after her with the chainsaw, and then she's running down the stairs and he just like fucking aims the
Drops it.
chainsaw, drops it, fucking kills her. And just watching him just slowly going more into his fucking psychotic state and just blurring the line. It's just such a dark comedy. And I've got in my notes here, like, I feel horrible, but you're like, watching this movie, it's like I'm not obviously rooting for Christian Bale's character here,
But
but
it's
I'm
fun.
enjoying what he's doing, and it makes you
Yeah.
feel like such a sack of shit that you're loving what Patrick Bateman's doing in this movie, and it's just it's so well done in my opinion.
Dude, there's an edgy movie from like 2012, 2013 called God Bless America, which you probably can't do now. What it is that it's an old man who's like, I hate society. And then, oh, sorry, it's just Joker, actually, now that I think about it. So it's just Joker where he's like, I hate society. And there's like a young girl who's like, I hate my generation. I hate society too. And so what they do is they just start going to kill all the famous people. And then, like, that's all the entire movie is. And I just remember feeling so satisfied being like 17 or 18, just like, ah, yes, fucking kill Justin Bieber, like, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah,
Right.
go kill American Idol. Like, this feels so satisfying. I have to imagine that this is probably higher end, more acceptable than fucking God Bless America. Who remembers that movie exactly? So, yeah, you know what? I imagine that American Psycho has to fill that same void.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I might add that to my watch list. I just looked that up quickly. That sounds cool. But doesn't hold
I
up
can't.
very well.
I have no idea. Like, I just
Fair.
watched it the one time and then never again.
Fair. I mean, I kind of like those type of movies, so I might check it out sometime. But
Mm, mm.
I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not going in expecting American Psycho. That's
Please don't put my name to it. Is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
no, that's obviously not going to be the case here. But yeah, it just there's just so much to love about this movie. Oh, and I wanted to mention this before the non-spoiler section, but shout out to the fucking 4K Blu-ray release of this because that is some gorgeous fucking packaging. The packaging
Yep.
job, like if you have not seen it, Google the packaging job for this because they use the slipcover in such a cool way, and it is fucking fantastic. It's a Lionsgate release. They always do usually funky shit like this, and the actual quality of the releases are stellar. This looks gorgeous. This movie, like just
All right.
great.
American Psycho Steelbook Best Buy. If you search that, it should give you the image. You should see that the slipcover is a reference back to Patrick Bateman ripping off the little like film layer that he has on his skin from his face. And honestly, Lionsgate is the one that is always killing it when it comes to slipcovers and steelbooks.
Yeah, absolutely, and the releases too. Like the Saw release, like you said, you watched it, right? And it was fucking incredible looking. So
Dude, it's
just crazy.
fucking hilarious. Why is Lionsgate putting Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision on all of these movies? Like,
I
good job.
know,
Thank you.
right?
I'm not gonna complain. It's just like, did Saw really need that? Like, it's
No,
Saw.
probably not. But fucking, at
Like,
least they put care into their shit. Unlike Marvel, which is just not even doing true 4K cuts for any of their shit. Disney, I should say,
okay,
not Marvel.
I'm not going to talk shit about not being true 4K because we found out through that
True.
long list of actual 4K movies that are in 4K discs that like all of them are like, yeah, that's upscale. It's like, what? Like that was my benchmark disc. There's no fucking way you're telling me that's not real 4K. So
True.
I
That's fair.
I'm not gonna give shit to that. What I will give shit to is that Disney originally did have Dolby Vision in most of their movies, but then moving forward, they ripped it out and only left it to Disney Plus. So while I know the movie sucks, but still it's one that I have to mention. Like the first, okay, two movies that I think about it. Black Panther and The Last Jedi both were one of the early 4K releases that had Dolby Vision when they first came out, but then extra reprintings were only HDR10. So
Oh,
fuck
that's
Disney for
shitty.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's shitty.
exactly.
I don't like that at all. If you can fucking put Dolby Vision and fucking all that shit and Saw, you can fucking do it in your fucking shitty Marvel movies, man. Come on.
Exactly. But no, of course not. They don't fucking care and they want you to subscribe to Disney Plus forever and just get Dolby Vision that way on your fucking Blu-ray disc that they're basically streaming to you and calling that 4K.
Gross, gross, gross. But yeah, American Psycho, really great movie. Definitely, if you've never seen it, check it out. It's a classic to me. It holds up very, very well. It's 21 years old now, but I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It's just, to me, it's a masterpiece in that sort of genre, and I really love that movie. So it's a 4.5 stars out of 5 for me. Uh, really great movie.
I'm gonna give it an IFC out of 10 and a I'll rewatch it at some point out of 10.
Yeah, and if you get that fucking 4K steelbook, even if you don't keep it in the collection or whatever, fucking grab that just to check out the 4K release because it's really fucking nice.
Mhm. All right, my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna bundle these together because goddamn, this is really starting to run long. Um, Lost in Translation and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The
Oh boy.
reason that I'm bundling these together is because I basically watched them in close enough proximity, and both of them were reasons to get my wife into the movie theater room again. And of course, if I promise her love with these movies, usually she'll wander in here, but like a little angrily. She'll be like, go grab me my blanket. And it's like, fine, I'll watch a movie. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll grab you your blanket, whatever you need to do. Just please don't leave the theater room while we're watching this. Um, Now, before we get into the Lost Translation, you promised to explain to me why you don't like this movie.
All right. So look, first of all, I just don't like it. I think it's boring. I think it's meandering. I think it's a pointless experiment of a movie, and I don't like it. But beyond all
Piss.
that, yeah, beyond all that, which by the way, it's funny that we're bundling these because this is like I hate this movie, and I
Yes, I know.
fucking Eternal Sunshine's one of my favorite movies of all time. But anyways,
Yes, I'm
so
sorry.
no, it's great. But one of the reasons I do dislike this movie so much is I used to work with a gentleman. I don't think you listen to this podcast. I've texted it to you, but I don't think you listen. But his name is Anthony. Good guy, but he's a fucking hipster, giant fucking hipster.
Ooh, me.
And what's that?
Me.
I mean, he's worse than you, trust me.
At least cinema
So
wise.
yeah. So I was really excited for The Dark Knight at this time. Like I was so excited for The Dark Knight. I was like, we were working together at this point. I'm like, oh man, how about that Dark Knight Batman Heath Ledger?
Oh
Like, I was so
no.
excited for it, right? Like I loved it. I wanted to see it. I was so excited. But he would troll me because he had no interest in seeing it. He did not like he doesn't like Christopher Nolan. That's a whole other thing. But he
Okay,
didn't
he
like
can fuck off.
yeah, he didn't like that movie. But he kept saying to me, hey, you want some real action? You want to see a real good movie filled with action?
Wait.
You should watch Lost in Translation.
No, 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 no. Okay, no, please, no. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, go back and watch Lesson Translation with proper expectations now. No,
And he
no, you
kept
were lied to going into it.
and he kept he's like, you want a movie that's really exciting? You should watch Lost in Translation. And he kept
No,
fucking doing this. So finally, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna spite watch this. And I fucking hate
no.
this movie. I fucking hate it.
No, 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 no. You cannot Mamma Mia this shit, okay? No. I'm not gonna let you Mama. Okay, hold on. I need to explain what I mean by Mamma Meing, okay? So whenever the Dark. By the way, I realized that my parents cucked me on watching The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises in theaters. So like, by the way, the other day I asked them like, "Hey, so what was it that about that I didn't get to go watch The Dark Knight Rises?" Then they're like, "I don't know. We were probably mad at your brother or something. We accidentally took it out on you." And I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks." So, The Dark Knight was in theaters at the same time as Mamma Mia, and my parents love ABBA. And I remember they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the theaters." I was like, "Okay, cool. You guys go watch Mamma Mia. I'm gonna go watch The Dark Knight." They're like, "No, you're joining us for Mamma Mia." And I remember being
Oh,
so fucking mad during the entire time that we were in the theater. And I remember specifically, they're like, no, there was more people. Bullshit, okay? My parents are wrong on this one. I'm sorry, mom, dad, if you're listening to this, you're wrong. I remember specifically who was in the crowd. And you want to know who was in the crowd? It was the three of us, and it was two older ladies that looked like they got a pass from the retirement home to go to the theater to go watch this. Two of them to our left, okay? A couple of rows ahead. I remember this so vividly because when you're mad, you just start looking at shit to try and get angry at. And those two old ladies, I was looking at them like, you're here. I could be watching The Dark Knight. And now this is where it becomes questionable whether if I remember this properly or not, because I swear that the theater right next door was The Dark Knight. So I could hear the sound bleeding in. That one, I won't really confirm. Maybe it's just my anger getting worse on me, but everything else I know for sure is accurate. So I will not let you, Mamma Mia, Lost in Translation, because you had other stuff leading into it of why you were going to be even more unkind to it.
I'm Mamma Mia it. Fuck that shit. It's a stupid movie.
No!
Oh,
Oh!
I fucking hate it. And what the fuck, you know, and I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. What the fuck did you whisper into her ear? You're not going to tell us that shit. You're going to leave it as some big mystery.
You
Fuck
don't
off.
need to. You
I
don't
want
need
to know
to
what he's
know.
saying.
What do you need? No, okay? All you need to know is that they had a strong connection in the
Uh,
middle of nowhere, and they were each other's rock in just
uh,
completely turbulent other country that they don't know.
uh, uh.
I can't stand you. I go. Oh my god. Okay, no, you know what? You get me to watch a movie that I don't want to watch, and we'll trade it, okay? Because I feel like
Oh,
if
be
you
careful of
tried
that.
Lost in
Be
Translation,
careful with that.
we'll see. We'll see, okay? I'm willing to put that one out there because I feel like Lost
uh,
in Translation might be a movie that if you watch it with the proper expectations, you might enjoy it more. If you can actually let go of that asshole that told you the wrong thing walking in, and because obviously it's attacking your baby the Dark Knight, like you might have a chance.
fuck. All right, go gush about it. I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it
Yeah,
anymore.
I will. Okay. Lost in Translation is art. I love this movie. This is incredible. It is slow moving. It really likes to milk every little situation. I love Bill Murray. Bill Murray just looks perfectly sad. Scarlett Johansson looks perfectly lost. This movie is all just about these two people who obviously would have never met each other in other situations, but because they're both in Japan and they're the only thing that looks somewhat recognizable back to their home, they find each other and they give each other the actual comfort that we need from actual human connection. I love this movie. I love the title. Literally, the title is Lost in Translation, where it's not the literal, like, oh, something is lost whenever you're translating from one language to another. It's them being literally lost in the fact that everything that they need to be told is through translation. But these two people do not have to translate. They find each other because nothing between them has to be translated. I fucking love this movie. I love the ambiguous ending. And you know why it's an ambiguous ending? Because you don't need to know what Bill Murray tells her. All you need to know is that these two people shared a special connection and they were there for each other in one of what seemed like the moments in their life that they were just completely lost and they had no bearings on their surroundings. I fucking love this movie. Bill Murray is perfectly sad in it. I already said this again, but again, Scarlett Johansson is perfectly lost. These two people ride that strange line of like, you know what? I'm going to invoke it. Okay. This is the love that Big Boss and the Boss had in MGS3, where you don't really need to define what kind of love it is. You just know that there is a deep care between these two people, a connection that has been made for the rest of their lives. Fuck you. I love this movie.
Rather watch fucking Boss Baby than watch this shit again.
I can't. No. Okay, you know what? Fine. You want me to watch Boss Baby? I'll watch Boss Baby if you watch Lost in Translation.
No, I would actually pick something that that I don't think you'd like, but like I like. I don't like Boss Baby either, so I'm not gonna torture you. Fucking stupid.
I don't believe you. That's how mean I want to get right now. Lost in Translation. I fucking love this movie. I already got a fake case for it. It is already on the shelf. I love this movie. All right. I'm going to give it an art out of 10.
I am going to check my letterbox because I want to make sure I give it a 1 star out of 5. If I
You heard
didn't,
me.
I'm going to
You
do that
wound me.
right now. Hold on a second here. Lost in translation. Yeah, 1 star out of 5. Perfect. We're good.
I'm going to see if Letterbox has like a dislike option, and I'm just gonna bomb you right now.
I don't think it does, unfortunately. You can like it though.
No, I can't do that.
Oh, Sam gave it 4 stars too. God damn it. I fucking hate that movie.
Fucking Kino, it's cinema. Okay, Eternal
Now you
Sunshine
want to
of
talk
the
about
Spotless
Kino in
Mind.
cinema?
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is Kino.
Oh,
Fucking
oh,
incredible.
mm, mm.
I love this movie. This is another banger. This is a back-to-back, just love sucks and everything is dead, but we still
Yep,
should go on anyways movie.
yep, yeah. I don't know why this
Go
one
ahead.
hits so much. This one just hits so hard for me. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think what it is, I think a lot of it to me is I cannot tell you when I was younger how obsessed I was with Jim Carrey. The Mask was like a
Everyone was.
revelation for me as a kid. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, I fucking loved him. And then to come out and see him have to do this serious movie, and I remember I was like, I don't know, I can't think to be stupid, but I was like,
Yep.
you know what, I like Jim Carrey, I'm gonna try it. And what a fucking beautiful movie this is, and it's
Yes.
just so perfectly done. You want to talk about fucking like perfect endings to a movie, and just you get this, it's just you don't know whether to be hopeful or heartbroken. Like you really don't. It's a mixture of both feelings because they're probably doomed to make the same mistakes, but it's beautiful, right? Like it's just
No, I still think it's hopeful. I still think it's hopeful. I mean,
then that's what you want to hope. You do want to hope that they'll recognize that, but
no, but even acknowledging the fact that it might end in the same
yeah,
way is why I want to be like, that's why.
no,
Okay, hold on. Should we just go into spoilers since we already
yeah, yeah.
gushed?
Sorry, we should. Yeah, sorry. Three, two,
Okay,
one.
so 3, 2, 1. They both erased each other's memory, and then at the end of the movie, you realize that they're thinking about whether they should get together again, and they decide to get together again. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I think it's hopeful, where even if they know that it ends properly, I'm okay. Hold on, sorry. Spoilers for Arrival as well. Sorry, fuck.
Oh God.
Dude, we're doing spoiler inception here. Okay, all right.
Spoilception.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do the 10-second thing here, okay? Because I don't want to dwell on it too much. But okay, give it a couple of seconds. And Arrival spoilers. Okay, because like Arrival spoilers, when they find out that the girl that they're going to have it has cancer and they still decide to
Yes.
have it, like that's still beautiful to me that they choose to still love even beyond that. Okay, that was 10 seconds. So I find stories where people who are doomed and know that they are doomed to do something where they will love something but end up getting hurt because of it, but they choose to still love anyways because it'll be worth it and then not worry about the pain. To me, that's going to be always something beautiful because every moment in life we're always going to have something sad that's going to hit us. It is unavoidable. So the fact that people still choose to love and understand that there's going to be pain afterwards, that is always going to be beautiful to me, even if they know that there's going to be destruction waiting at the end of it.
Yeah. No, that's really well put. And you're not wrong. To me, I felt like when you got to the end, you're just to me, it's always the worry of like, oh man, is this just going to be like a vicious cycle where this constantly happens, and it's just, you're going to have this heartbreak all over again. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess them deciding to make that decision and being okay with it, even just to spend more time together, is beautiful in its own right.
No, but I also think that at this point they're probably not going to erase their minds again because they're like, "Oh shit, we're just perpetually attracted
Yeah,
to each other."
that and
So at
hopefully,
this point the lesson is supposed to be that the lesson isn't supposed to be like, "Oh man, is it going to be tragic if we get there?" No, the lesson is that all these memories make you who you are and that you shouldn't throw out the bad for the good because the good
sure,
still had a huge influence on who you are as a person.
no, for sure. But yeah, this movie's utterly great, and what's really frustrating to me is you have a copy on you have the Blu-ray copy, which I bought too, but
Mhm.
there's just nothing on there. There's no subtitles, no
Yeah.
special features. This movie's never gotten a lot of releases. There's no love for it, and it's so weird. It's almost like it's been abandoned, and I don't get it.
Yeah. It honestly annoys me because like you said, like literally the Blu-ray that I got empty, not even a fucking menu. Like you boot up, I think it has like obviously like the production houses and then a screen that's like, "Oh, the movie's about to start." And then the movie just starts. And like if I try to hit top menu, it's like, "Yeah, that doesn't exist." You only have the pop-up menu and it's just to change audio tracks.
Wild, like absolutely wild, and like we ordered those nice steel books, so I hopefully there's a bit of a better release on there because
There
that
won't
one's
be.
actually it's a worldwide one, so it'll at least work on our players. But
Hmm.
it's wild to me, man, because this movie just seems to be forgotten about somewhat. And Charlie Kaufman, who wrote the script for this movie, just does such a great job here in this story, and he's just like, I know he didn't direct it, which I actually thought for a long time he did, but he didn't.
Same.
But obviously, it's his talent that's on display here, along with adaptation, which is another one of his movies that I find is absolutely fantastic, that he didn't direct either. Um, and yeah, I don't know, man. There's just something that's so resonant to me about this movie, and it's really great.
I mean, it's positivity wrapped up in complete depression. And to be
Yeah,
fair, with
it's
our
my
love
shit.
for Automata and The Leftovers, like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
in the mood for something that is utterly depressing, but then
Mhm.
it has that little spark of hope that's in the center of all that depression.
It's a great way to put it, and yeah, it perfectly fits that. So it's very obvious why I actually do like this movie.
So I just want to say it if you search up Eternal Sunshine Steelbook and if you go to images
Oh,
and if you see this beautiful just
oh,
upside down head with
one of
the
my favorites.
clouds, that's the steelbook that we're talking about. We it was cheaper to order two from Germany, so we both got one, and I think it'll be here like probably in a week or two. Just gorgeous steelbook. Honestly, this movie was so worth it. Immediately as soon as I finished it, I was like, yeah, I want this steelbook. I want this in my collection.
It's a top five steelbook, honestly, that I'll own. Like that's fucking gorgeous. Like the art on that is some of the nicest I've seen. Like I think they killed that design.
Mhm. But man, this movie, I'm not gonna lie, I just this movie reminds you that people are given so much creativity and free reign to put whatever they want on the screen that and then this movie just shows how many other movies aren't taking advantage of all the tools that they have. And honestly, it just kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, that's really true. I'm sorry. I just this is totally off topic, but we were talking
Mm.
about it earlier with Halloween Kills. I'm just gonna send you something.
Oh,
I
yes,
just
please.
I just saw this in the Discord. Look at that. Like I was saying.
Okay, hold on. It's a picture of a tweet, right? Michael Myers called homophobic for killing gay couple in Halloween Kills, and then someone retweeted, "He's the villain. Was he supposed to suck their dicks?" Which, yeah, you know what? Yeah, uh,
Fucking hell.
he was supposed to give them a blowjob and then kill them.
There we go. That's the proper polite thing to do. The fuck. Oh my god. Okay, that was way off topic, but I saw
Yeah.
that and I
Okay.
had to show you.
Either
Um,
way, Eternal
yeah. So
Sunshine.
Eternals, brilliant. Fucking love this movie. At 5 stars out of 5. This is one of my. This is a top 10 movie of all time for me. So I fucking love it.
I will also say, because we didn't mention it at all, the parallel storyline with the Doctor
Oh, it's so
and
good.
Mark Ruffalo, just all of that is so fucking great because it only adds to the whole theme of like, you shouldn't be removing memories because you basically remove who you are as a person.
Yeah, they do it perfectly. It's so well shot and well written and just and well acted. Like you like this is the movie that actually, shows that, a guy like Jim Carrey had some range. Like cuz he started to dabble in this with stuff like The Truman Show and stuff like that, but this
Oh
was
my
this was on a whole
God.
nother level. So,
Dude, The Truman Show is incredible.
it's
I
so good.
love that movie.
Mm.
Honestly, you know what pisses me off is that anytime that I think of Eternal Sunshine, I remember that I watched it, and this was another like American Psycho where I watched it, I didn't remember it, I needed to rewatch it. Covered, cool, done, all that. Now, I remember that after I initially watched Eternal Sunshine, I went, "Oh shit, you know what? He's a dramatic actor. You know what? Let's see how this goes." And then you know what movie I watched next? The
Oh, the
number
number 23.
23.
Funny, I have that on my watch list. I've never seen it. I feel I need to see it myself to see how bad it is,
No.
but
Just save yourself, okay? The number dude, the only thing I remember about the number 23 is that Jim Carrey is in, like, in a wife beater in a dark room just playing saxophone all fucking day. Like, I don't remember anything about that movie except that and being bored. Like, that's it.
it sounds kind of appealing to me.
Dude, okay, you know what? How about this? The fact that the Wikipedia page lists this is the second time to pair Joel Schumacher and Jim Carrey, the first being Batman Forever.
Oh, okay, now we're out.
There we go. I'm glad I was able to save you at least a little.
Yeah, we're out now.
But yeah, like Jim Carrey to me, it's just he is I c- like Adam Sandler's right over there. Like he has Punch Drunk Love and he has Uncut
Uncut
Gems.
Gems. Yeah.
I just feel like Adam Sandler is like the actor that's like, oh fuck, you can turn whenever you want. It's just that you choose not to. Jim Carrey, man, I just kind of wish that do people just not know how to use him properly? Because like the Truman Show is like a perfect use of him. Like he's still kind of happy, but he doesn't get too dark. Eternal Sunshine shows that he can go that way, but then just no one capitalized on it. Like I don't understand why Jim Carrey doesn't. Jim Carrey has two movies. Adam Sandler has two movies, but why is it that Adam Sandler is someone that I can be like, yeah, he's a good actor. He just chooses not to. But like Jim Carrey isn't someone that I could say that for. It
I,
just
I
kind of
feel
makes me
like
sad.
I feel like I want to watch Kidding. I've heard good things about that, and I feel like that would give me a bit more insight into it. So I know it's been canceled, unfortunately. So I'll have to look up if there's like a definitive ending. Because if it ends on a cliffhanger, I probably won't, unfortunately. But I kind of want to give that a watch and kind of see how that goes.
It's his TV show, right?
Yeah,
Honestly, that might be something that I'm interested in because it's the first time that it's the first time in like a long time that you could watch something Jim Carrey that could have probably been taken seriously. So, you know what? I might consider that too.
yeah, definitely interested. I've heard it's very good. Like I've heard it's basically Mr. Rogers, but what if he was fucked up? So I'm down for that.
It was canceled after 2 seasons, so it might end up being a cliffhanger. But honestly, if I'm just watching it to see what Jim Carrey is like nowadays, I think it won't hurt me.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, so yeah, anything else about Eternal Sunshine? Because
I could
it
talk about
kind
it
of
for
hurts me again that yeah, exactly,
yeah, I could
exactly.
talk about it for hours, but again, we're tight on time, and it's amazing. I'm actually don't worry though, we'll bring it up again because once I get that steelbook, I'm fucking rewatching it, and we'll talk about it again. So
Fuck yes. Okay, that's good enough for me then. Eternal Sunshine is a Kino out of 10.
yeah, 5 stars out of 5 for me. One of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, that's
Okay, so
2 for my end. You know what? Fuck it. Keep it rolling. Go Blade Runner.
go Blade Runner. I was gonna do two short ones, but you want to go Blade Runner?
Oh yeah, yeah. Fuck it.
Okay, fuck it. Then let's do Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. We'll bundle them together.
Woo.
Okay, so Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. Wow. Where to start with these movies? Okay, so Blade Runner. Let me get my notes here. So so first of all, this is my first time ever seeing the final cut version of it. I have
Mhm.
seen the regular cut, I have seen the director's cut, but I had never seen the final cut. So I was very excited to watch this. I every time I watch this movie, I love it more. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's another top tenner for me. It's probably my favorite pure sci-fi movie of all time. Shout out to the 4K cut. The 4K cut on this movie is absolutely tremendous. It's gorgeous looking. And yeah, I just cannot say enough positive things about this movie. And I think it's wild that a movie like this exists where you get such a bastardized version of the original version in theaters and you end up fixing it all these years later. It's pretty cool, and there's not a lot of examples about that. And even the original bastardized version, I still remember really liking, but obviously the ending's horrible, and the voiceovers and the studio just interferes and does such some stupid shit with this fucking movie. Um,
Anyways, me and Rachel drove to the countryside and
it's
we
fucking
found out
incredible
that
though.
she could just stay alive forever. And
It
then we lived happily ever after.
it's incredible how much he doesn't give a shit. Clearly, like how much Harrison Ford hated that. He just
Wait,
fucking
hold
loves
on. Hold on. Hand me my coffee. You're not
it.
going to record this and put this in the movie, right? All right. Thank you, Janet. Okay, what are
Janet,
you
bitch.
fuckers paying me for more?
Ugh, it was horrible. It was so bad, but even with that, I still love this movie. The thing about this movie is it's what it's what makes me feel like the wonder of movies. Like it's just such a cool world they build here, and I already loved cyberpunk futuristic things like this. And yeah, just from an atmosphere standpoint alone, I just think this movie is absolutely brilliant. It's my favorite from Ridley Scott, and he's made some bangers. And yeah, they're the way they kind of dance around like him, whether he's a replicant or not, and how it's a story but it's not very story, and we'll talk about that in 2049 how they make that even cooler.
Mhm.
But how they do that in this movie I think is just brilliant, nothing short of brilliant. Yeah, I just this movie to me is a seminal movie.
Blade Runner. I love this movie for just the pure aesthetics. I love Harrison Ford, but this movie to me is just I don't like the pacing of this movie. Like I really don't. I just feel like this movie probably hits better in the 80s when you can kind of milk like this is the first time you've ever seen any of this shit, which to be fair, by the way, even like what was it? I watched it a couple of years ago. Like even still watching it now, it's just a movie that has a magic to it where everything you watch and then you remember, oh, they didn't do this shit with like almost any computers at all. It becomes even more impressive, but I also think that I love this movie for its influences on everything else than the actual movie itself. Like, I respect this movie Abso-fucking-lutely. There's nothing that is ever going to make me say this is a bad movie. It's just that I think it is a better it's a better indication of where movies should go than it is a movie itself. But I will say that Rutger Hauer fucking brings down the house at
He's
the
so good.
ending. The
Yeah, the
man
ending's so great.
kills it. Like, I can't understate how that is just like, honestly, I needed more of that throughout most of the movie instead of just like that hard punch at the end. But also, I do have beef with this movie because, like, I feel like Ridley Scott, like, straight up, is a fucking moron. I really do think that he doesn't understand what makes this movie special with the choice that he included in it and his choices with Harrison Ford's character. Like, I really do think that he is stupid for insisting on that. I really do. So I just this movie has enough things that I can still respect it, but like there are enough things that I just really want to punch it in the fucking face for that it makes me wish it just fixed those little things to make me really like it.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't say I agree with most of that, but that's a fair opinion to have. I will
Oh, we'll,
say
we'll
I
go
do.
into spoilers and discuss it.
Yeah, yeah. I will say that I do think your fuck. I lost my train of thought. That's fine. We can just go into spoilers.
Okay, all right. So at least both of us agree that this one should be watched by everyone, right?
Yes, absolutely. Whether or not you like the movie, it's influential as hell, and
Exactly.
it influenced so much. And I mean, we'll talk about 2049 in a bit here, but whether you
Mhm.
like 2049 or not, or you love 2049, which most people seem to do, there's no 2049 without this movie, and there's no a lot of movies without this movie. So
No, but here's the thing. I feel like we need to specifically explain that even deeper because, like, obviously, if you don't have the first movie, you can't go to the second movie.
right,
But,
right,
like, really, we need to dive in even deeper to that. But without Blade Runner in 1982, you don't have the large influence of just cyberpunk in
yeah.
general on media moving forward after that point, where even 4 decades after this movie is still going to be a cultural landmark that people need to remember and study and just steal from, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with
Okay,
that.
so before spoilers, though, I feel like let's just talk. If we're going to do spoilers, I'd say that let's just blend in both Blade Runner and 2049 into the spoiler section. So let's go briefly into 2049 then first.
All right. So let me.
Yeah, yeah, please go on.
Th-
Hurt
th-
me.
so this is going to be the part where I think Ed's going to lose his mind, and I've been hiding
I
this
already
for
am.
a while now. So first of all, let me explain something very clear. The first time I saw Blade Runner 2049 in theaters, I liked it. I thought it was good, but I didn't love it. I think I've explained how important to me Blade Runner is as a movie and how much I fucking appreciate and adore that movie. And to me, the thing with 2049 leading into it was this movie doesn't need a sequel. Like, why is there a
Yeah,
sequel being made to this fucking movie? Blade
yeah,
Runner stood on its own. It was a great movie. I love it, obviously. You know, you can have your different, anybody can have their different opinions on it, but it never really led room to a sequel for me. And I didn't understand why it was being made.
yeah.
But I still walked out. I still thought it was good, just not great. And that was basically that for the longest time. But something happened last year. A little game came out called The Last of Us Part Two. Now now, and I hate to say it, and I really hate to say it,
Do
but
you?
I I do. The
Do
last
you?
The Last of Us Part 2 helped me appreciate Blade Runner
N-
2049 more. It
No,
really
no,
no,
no, no.
it r-
Where's the
it
magazine?
really did.
No, no, no. Can't. Does not compute. Nope. Nope. Continue.
Uh,
Continue before I blast either you or myself.
so to give a little bit of context to that, The Last of Us Part 1 is a perfect game to me. It's my favorite game of all time. I absolutely adore it. It's very close to Blade Runner and how I feel about that movie. Not as much, but I adore it. And I did not think The Last of Us Part 2, Last of Us needed a sequel. I just don't think that game needed a sequel. I don't think it ever needed a sequel. But it came out and I love the
Correct.
game. I think it's fantastic. And don't
No.
worry, we're gonna have a big conversation about that in the future. But I love that game. And I still feel if you ask me today, does The Last of Us Part 2 need to exist? My answer hasn't changed, and the answer is no. It doesn't need to exist, that game, at all. The first game is a perfect game and it stands fine on its own. But the second game exists and it's very good for me. And that's now how I feel about Blade Runner 2049 after watching it for a second time. It does not need to exist still, in my opinion. The first movie stands perfectly still on its own. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But 2049 is a damn good fucking movie. It's really well done and it did not need to exist, but I'm glad it does. And so thank you to Neil Druckmann, The Last of Us, for teaching me a very important lesson.
He's just keep teaching you lessons, doesn't he?
He's very
Oh,
knowledgeable and wise.
Neil Druckmann, please keep teaching us lessons, please.
But that's the end of that story. So 2049 is a very great movie. Obviously, I think you plan to do a spoiler cast on the future with a bunch of guys that love the movie.
Probably not,
So,
dude. I'm so
well,
tired of just
you
even
tapped out
thinking
of
of the fact that it's going to be 5 people. Like, I don't think I can do that.
It's too bad. I was looking forward to that one. Excuse
Dude,
me.
that I would have such a long lead time for editing, but by the time I was done, I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm deleting this.
Fair. So I'll talk about this more when I talk about Drive, but just a shout out to here too. Ryan Gosling is just so effortlessly cool. I fucking love
Yes.
Ryan Gosling, and again, he's great in this movie. It's perfectly well acted. I think my biggest issues with this movie are mostly just in how a lot of the marketing was done for it and a lot of the shit we found out beforehand. But yeah, it's a really great movie. And again, we'll talk about. I'll dive deeper when we talk about spoilers for both, but really glad I rewatched it, and I appreciate this movie way more the second time I watched it.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's go ahead and spoilers and for both movies. Okay. So like, if you honestly have heard all this shit and you still don't want to watch it, I understand because he did bring up the Druckmann name. So like, I understand that kind of took you out of not wanting to watch them. So 3, 2,
Two.
1.
Deckard isn't a
I'm gonna
replicant.
spoil. Deckard is a fucking replicant. It's stupid as fuck. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate you. I fucking abhor this choice. I fucking hate it. Okay, now I need to go into Blade Runner 2049 and spoil that one too. So
It
Ryan
doesn't matter whether
Gosling.
he's a replicant or not. There you go.
Yeah, thank God. Okay. We get to the ending and Ryan Gosling is dead. He's fucking dead, dying, fucking dunzo. And then we find out that Harrison Ford's daughter is half replicant, and it's the girl who was in that little dome bubble thing because of her immune system. There we go. We spoiled both of them. And we're in spoilers now. Okay, let's talk about Blade Runner and how much I fucking hate the fact that Deckard's a replicant.
Well, okay, we don't really know he's a replicant.
Yeah, he is.
We don't
He
know.
is.
We
Yeah,
don't know.
there's no reason to have
We
the unicorn scene. If you remove the unicorn scene, then all it is just letting him know that James Edward almost like knows, and it's like, okay, fine, that's cool. But the fact that it's a dream thing, and they hint that all the replicants share core memories, and the unicorn is one of those, like he is a replicant. He fucking is, and I hate it. I
he,
just don't want to pay attention to it at all.
he could have told him about the unicorn dreams at some
I,
point off screen.
I, do you are you really going to try and say, well, off screen? No, we have the text, and we're going to study what is on the text, and the text shows fine. Go ahead.
It's very likely that he is a replicant. All right, it is very likely that he is a replicant, but I don't think I can say definitively that he is.
Straight up, all cinema language points to it being him as a replicant, and I hate it. I hate it because we had Rutger Hauer show that replicants could be as human as humans, which, by the way, like, I understand that that's probably cliche at this point, but like, come on, 82, okay, shut the fuck up. So the, just the fact that you then make Harrison Ford a replicant means, oh, that doesn't mean that the replicants can be as human as humans. That just means that they're helping each other out. Like, no, I fucking hate that. I hate that the implication is that, well, the replicants are just going to help each other out. Like, fuck the humans. Like, no, like, that's what I love about the Rutger Hauer scene. Like, the fact that this robot is more human than the humans, but then you tell me that the human that he helped out was a robot? Fuck off. I hate this.
I don't know. I feel like I just can't say. I think the unicorn scene, and I understand why you don't like the unicorn scene. I think it's very. I didn't like it either the first time I saw it, but after rewatching it, I don't hate it as much. I feel like
No, no,
that's
no.
the.
I don't hate the implementation. Well, okay, yes, I do hate the implementation of it. Like, I hate that it's just like crowbarred in there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
what I mean is that I hate the implications
No, I
that
know.
it involves.
Where I just don't feel as strongly about it because I feel okay. Like take the unicorn scene out, okay,
Mm.
and take that out. Then I think you lean towards him not being a replicant.
Well,
I
yeah,
feel,
exactly. That's why I
yeah,
hate it.
but I think that just levels the playing field with that in there. Now you've got a bit more evidence that maybe he is, but there's still evidence that maybe he isn't.
No, but that's like a smoking gun. Like, if
Mm.
you don't include the unicorn at all, then there is literally no doubt about him being a human.
Okay, I agree, but I don't want that either. I don't want it one way or the other. I want it ambiguous.
No, but the thing is that should be no ambiguity. The whole point of the movie is talking about how these replicants are basically slaves wrapped up in human skin. And the whole point of Rutger Hauer and all of that is him slowly learning his humanity that he has that was given to him by the humans.
That's fair. That's fair, but I still feel that like him as the character, Deckard as the character himself, that's a whole different storyline to me. Whether or not he is a replicant, or whether you feel that 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 the emotional connection that he feels towards the girl that is a replicant, I don't know. It's just to me, I
No,
feel
but
like
then that muddies it too, because if he's a replicant, then that's just a replicant falling in love with a replicant. Like, at that point, that's just like just robots.
but that also gives him more. To me, that just gives him more layers and depth.
No, but like, okay, if he's human, then that's where he is shown in two different ways that he can see compassion being doled out by these robots, and he sees that he is capable of loving them. It is a circle of love where he is given love and he can also give love to a replicant. Whenever you make him into a replicant, it just means that the replicants are just going to be cool with each other.
But if he's a replicant himself, then it's just kind of depressing in a way, which I like.
No, but then that just okay, hold on. Okay, look, I'm gonna do this in racial metaphors. Whoops, sorry everyone. We're about to
Eh.
get racial, okay? So imagine if there was like a Spike Lee movie where we find out that like this super uber racist KKK member, right, is about to help a black man off of a ledge, right? He
Okay.
picks up the black man, right? And he's like, wow, holy shit, you saved me. You know what? Maybe you're not racist anymore, right? And then we go and find out that the KKK member knew that the black man was half white. So he's like, ah, well, I just decided to save you anyways. You're one of us. Like,
See,
I don't.
I see. I think that would be good.
No,
I
no.
think
That just means that the whole point is supposed to try and redeem him to be like, no, you know what? Maybe there is humanity. No, instead it's like, well, I'm just trying to save half of humanity, and you, whoops.
I think that gives it more depth. I like that. I like
No,
that.
it's
I,
not depth. It's just
I,
muddying the waters. It just makes it less interesting if he's a replicant. If he's a
I,
replicant, then it's like, well, of course you're going to help one of your boys out. Of
you're
course
right.
you are.
No, you're right. It's definitely muddying the waters, but I don't find it less interesting. I find that fascinating.
I hate it because it saps the entire message of the fact that these robots are basically just as humans. If you then level the playing field and make them all robots, then that just means that the robots are just boys with each other. It doesn't involve humanity whatsoever.
I like that message too.
Okay, well, yes, like I do, but like I don't need it here. Like this movie makes a great argument this entire time that the robots are just as human as we are, but then you take out the one human that's interacting with all of them, so it's just robots being boys with each other. I don't like that. Like you don't need the if you had it seeded throughout the entire thing instead of one quick scene that you can cut out, like you need to interlay this shit even deeper if you want to make it like that. But I think the movie is less interesting if you just make it people who are the exact same thing being cool with each other.
I don't know. I think we just got to agree to disagree here because I
Yeah,
think
I know we do.
yeah, no, I know. It's just I think like there are other instances in the movie though. Like the scene with him and the girl and you get that kind of shine in his eyes when he kind of gets that slight blue tint. It's not just the unicorn. There are other bits.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch that because to me, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'll rewatch it. We'll revisit this
All right.
because, like,
Fair.
I at least from all that I remember, I just remember the unicorn scene being like that gigantic red herring that as soon as they confirmed it, I was like, no, no.
See, and I agree. No, but this is the funny part. If I followed that line of thinking and I was like, okay, I think 100% Deckard is a replicant, I would agree with you then because I don't want that either. I want the ambiguity, but I just don't. I'm not as confident in you that he is a replicant. I think it's very likely he is. I'm just not in the boat. Like, I think there's a convincing argument to be made that he's not too.
You know what? I think what it is that I think through the fuckery around this movie. Oh yeah, by the way, this whole movie has like 14 different versions of
Yeah, there's
like
a lot of
little minor edits.
fuckery.
Yeah, but the fact that I feel like Ridley Scott specifically introduces the unicorn scene over and over and over again, I d just something about him trying to include it. That's the thing. At this point, we're just in speculation. You
Yeah,
probably
no, for
read it
sure.
different than I do,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
like I read as his insistence on the unicorn scene being in there makes it feel like no, no, no. I meant for him to be a replicant. Like I really do think that it's not to muddy the waters intentionally. I think it's like, well, you know what? Maybe I didn't show my hand too hard that he could be a replicant, but I'm like that the fact that even introducing the doubt just ends up taking away from the fact that the robots and humans, there is a connection there. And whenever you take out the human, then it's just robots being boys with each other. God damn it. I'm going to say that shit so many times that I'm going to end up making that the name of the episode.
Now, to completely flip this on its head, as
Mm,
much as and when we disagree on that, but I
yeah.
appreciate I think there's still ambiguity, and I appreciate that. What I appreciate about 2049 is they say, fuck it, it doesn't matter. And I do appreciate
Yes.
that because I think that's the best way to handle that. Don't fucking go in one camp or the direction or focus on it. You just say, fuck it, it doesn't matter. And the movie lays its cards out right away. Like, you find out right away that Ryan Gosling is a replicant. Like,
Mhm.
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You find out very early on that he is, and they don't even touch whether Harrison Ford is or not. It's a non-factor in the movie.
To be fair, I almost look, that's the thing. That's another thing that I read into 2049. I almost feel like they wanted to try to fight that and be like, no, he's not a replicant. But I feel like because Ridley Scott was a producer, he's like, the fuck you try and say? What are you? What? You are trying to change my shit. And everyone was like, fine, fine. We just won't comment on it. Fuck you. Like,
And that could be the case.
so that's the thing. I feel like between these 2 movies, like, I feel like that's just it's such a fucking thorn in my side that I'm like, "Why would you include that?" Like, that's why I'm so happy that 2049 just goes, "You know what? That's not important to the conversation that we're
For sure.
having right now, so
Yeah.
fine. You know what? Okay,
And
that's
that's the
fine."
best way to, and that's by far the best way you could have handled that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very, that's actually not, honestly, it's not easy. Like, it sounds like it's easy, but that's not an easy decision to come to and make. And again, this
Yeah.
movie, like, for me, it just, there's no need, there was never a need for a sequel for this movie. Like, I really don't think
Yes.
that. But, Denny being Denny, man, he managed to do it. And I'm really glad that I could appreciate this movie more the second time, because it really is, like, forget, like, we'll obviously get into it or whatever, but the cinematography is gorgeous. It's fucking beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful fucking movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Roger Deakins
That
doing
to
that shit again.
Yeah, that to me though doesn't make a movie. Like, I can't just say
That does
this
to me.
movie's beautifully shot, but everything else sucks. I still like it. I can't do that. But that aside, like, it being beautifully shot and everything like that, it really, the second time watching it, you kind of get a sense of how much depth there is to the movie, and just how smart Denny was with this movie, because it could have been a
Yep.
complete fucking disaster. Like, it
Correct.
really could have. And in a less talented director's hands, it absolutely would have.
Yep. Just Blade Runner 2049 to me is honestly what Dune would have felt like had Denny tried to actually pack in all of it. Because this might be wrong, but I could swear that somewhere Blade Runner 2049 was originally going to be 2 different movies, but then they ended up cutting out extra stuff to merge it into one.
Well,
So
I think they said the original cut was like 4 hours long or something, so you're not wrong there.
I know, but that's the thing. I don't think that would be the case because there are a lot of movies that have like 4 hours footage that they choose from whenever they're done. So like, I don't, I don't exactly want to say like, oh, well, the plan was 2 movies. Like, I just think
Fair.
that that was probably one of those things that they had it all together, and when they were assembling it, they were cutting it, and then I assume that there might have been something there that, oh, well, we can take this and then develop it for a second movie. But I think they instead decided like, oh, we'll just cut that and then keep it one movie, even if it's a longer runtime. But then again, I feel like I might be imagining that. You can go and look it up, maybe prove me wrong or something like that, right? So Blade Runner 2049 is another movie that honestly it's right on the edge of me wanting to call it an epic, but it's still such like a personal story that I don't think I can call it that. I love this movie so fucking much. I love just the entire cinematography of it. I love all the acting of it. Fucking Ryan Gosling again is doing his best at letting you project whatever emotions you want onto him. The entire music, all the set design. I think it probably has the best sex scene in a movie ever, and still some of the most jaw-dropping CG implementation in that sex scene just ever. I honestly, they don't get naked at all. Like, I think really it's just Ana de Armas and girl from *Halt and Catch Fire*, Mackenzie Jones. Uh, really, all they do is just take off her dress in that sex scene, but honestly, it just reaches that level of intimacy and then still somehow bridging the sci-fi aspect of it in such a beautiful manner that it is my favorite sex scene just ever. I love that scene. The entire fight in the darkness and on the ocean front, how dark it is, just how beautifully shot all of it is, just the light sources, the entire story of just this old noir feel of Ryan Gosling trying to get to the bottom of this case, but also how they weave it into trying to find Harrison Ford and the questions about what is a human if you can start mixing humans replicants and just all of this I fucking love everything about this movie. And even though this feels like an actually slow-paced movie, it always had me hanging on it because it always had something for me to enjoy.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that actually. I think it's really great. And what I find sad is, and I'm not knocking. We just talked about Dune and how much I fucking adore Dune. I like Dune more than I like Blade Runner 2049. So I
Mhm.
love Dune. Don't get me wrong. But what I find sad is this movie. Again, we talked about it earlier. Bombed hard,
Yep.
hard, and you'll. I don't know if you'll ever see something like this again, which
We
is kind of a
won't.
shame
We
because
won't.
it's a blockbuster, but it's such in a personal film, like you said. It's very personal in the way the story is told, and yeah, you're never gonna see another blockbuster like this again. And even Danny said he doesn't kind of like how it turned. Like he likes the movie, but he doesn't like some of the choices he made and how it turned out. And I find that really sad because the movie definitely deserved better. It did.
I love this movie and I will forever hate that it just got beaten to hell in the theaters. This is another one that I went to go watch in theaters 3 times. I once took my wife, then the other times I just went alone because I had Movie Pass and I was like, "You know what? I'm not really using this today, so I'm just going to give you their money as much as I can." And I loved it every single time. Just the entire world that that movie just pulls me in is something that I love. And honestly, even though like the original Blade Runner, undeniably king of set design. Just no other movie is ever going to get close to that. And like even Alien, I think, Star Wars, like I'm including them in this, and I think Blade Runner still puts both of them to shame. Like I think it's that strong. And even though the original Blade Runner, I think it's probably just because of the movie itself didn't really pull me in. I really didn't get pulled in that hard into it. But 2049 gives me everything that I wanted, and it allows me to get pulled into that world where I just kind of wish that there was something a little bit like the Animatrix, kind of like Love, Death, and Robots about Blade Runner. Now, I
Yeah.
know that there were like a couple of shorts or anything like that, but honestly, I
There
watched
was an
them and it's
anime.
like, it there's an anime coming, which
Oh,
honestly,
it
fuck
looks
that shit. No,
terrible.
I don't
Oh,
want an anime series. Okay, I just
ugh.
want a couple of. You know what? Fine, fuck it. Just give me a couple of anime studios, and it's like, here's 15 minutes. What do you want to tell in this world?
Yeah,
Which
I
is
would
kind of
love
sad
that.
because they did try that shit. They did try it, and honestly, I just feel like because this movie bombed so quickly, Warner Brothers is like, sweep it under the rug. So
Yeah.
I would love more shit in this world, and I will
Yeah.
forever never forgive anyone for letting this movie die on me.
Yeah, I think we're done with the Blade Runner universe for the most part. Like, I think it'll
We are.
still kind of kick around, but I don't think we'll ever see another big. And honestly, though, honestly, I'm fine with that. I would like
I'm
more,
not.
like you said, like I think, like an animated series, like not a series, but like a Love, Death, and
Shorts.
Robots type things, shorts. I think that would be really cool, something like that. But just the thought of somebody trying to make Blade Runner 2066 and it's not Denny,
Never.
that
No.
scares me. So I'd rather it be dead than that, to be
To
frank.
be fair, I do kind of love the idea of going on further, like another 30 years, and another auteur shows up and they're like, I want to try this
Sure.
again. And I kinda love the idea that you just have every 3 decades, someone comes in, it's like, "We have this new technology, but we're still gonna try and figure out how to make it as y real as possible, as in camera as possible." Like, and I like that idea.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that, but give it some time to rest because I think the sting of how badly 2049 did, it's going to take a while to get over
I
for any
mean,
studio.
the good thing is that the word of mouth on 2049 is just as strong. Well, okay, I don't want to say that because honestly, Blade Runner 82 has like 4 decades on this one. But
Fair.
I'm happy that 2049 has very strong word of mouth now as the original Blade Runner currently has. Okay, I know, okay, that obviously the original Blade Runner has way more cachet than 2049. But what I'm glad of is that whenever people talk about the original and then they bring up 2049, it's never in a disparaging way. So I have hopes that at least 2049, as time passes, it will not be forgotten.
Yeah, it's very rare to meet somebody like even when I watched it the first time, and I didn't love it, but I still liked it. I thought it was a good movie. It's
Mm,
very rare that I've met somebody who's seen 2049 and just dislikes it. Like
mm.
flat out doesn't like that movie. It's rare. I don't think I've ever met anyone. So I mean, I'm sure it exists, but
Yeah,
it's not common.
there are people who don't like Dune, so
Yeah. But yeah, no. So either way, like I said, these are two absolutely fantastic movies that are trying to do two different things. And it's just if you stuck around for spoilers and you somehow haven't seen these movies, I really feel like you still need to watch these because whether or not like the replicant shit, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day.
yeah.
These are just two really fucking seminal movies that are important. And they're important for very different reasons, but they're both very good.
They are what cinema can achieve by being able to
Yes.
put all that shit in camera and just pull you into a world that you will never be able to visit in real life.
Absolutely. And like I'm a sucker for futuristic cyberpunk stuff, so this is just fucking geared right towards me, both these movies.
All right. Are we good for scores?
Yeah, Blade Runner is a 5-star movie for me. 2049 originally, I think I would have given it like 3 stars. It is definitely bumped up. It's 4 stars now. And I would like to rewatch it at some point in the future because, in my opinion, further away from it, I just watched it a couple weeks ago, mind you, but further away it keeps climbing. So, yeah, great movies.
The original Blade Runner to me, I'm going to score it a more influential than good out of 10. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and give 2049 a art and kino out of 10.
Very prestigious awards.
I fucking love both of these movies. Okay, is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. Fuck, man, this is a really long episode. Uh, okay, do you want to just do rapid fire just so we can knock all this? Okay, hold on. Do you have any more long topics or no?
There's two movies that I kind of want to talk a bit more about, but they won't be too bad. And then there's two movies that I can rapid fire through.
Okay, I'm gonna just rapid fire a whole bunch of my shit. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Star Wars 2. Star Wars 2. Star Wars Episode 2. Attack of the Clones. It is very bad. John Williams hard carries this fucking movie hard. This movie sucks. I hate sand.
I agree, man. Fuck Star Wars 2. It's really bad. It's basically as bad as some of those new sequel trilogies. Really great music, but horrible movie. I agree
I would
completely.
still take this over the sequels any fucking day.
Yes, I would too.
Mhm.
But it's bad enough that I'd have to pause and think for a second and then remember Princess Leia floating in space and be like, okay, yeah, I would take episode 2. But I would pause for a second.
You see, it wouldn't take me that hard because I would just hear the sound design and John Williams
Fair.
fucking killing it. That would
Yeah,
make me take Attack of the Clones over the sequel
fair.
trilogy
Yeah,
at all because
man,
he
the
slept
music and
walked through most of it.
the music in the original trilogy and 4, 5, and 6 and 1, 2, 3 are just so much better than anything we got in the sequels too, honestly.
I will say though that Ray's theme in the sequel trilogy, not bad, actually really
Yeah,
good.
no, it's good. That's the best one by far, for sure.
Mhm. Okay, so Attack of the Clones, I'm gonna give it a John Williams hard carry out of 10. I hate sand out of 10, and yeah, that's about it.
It's probably like a 1.5 to 2 stars out of 5. I forget what I gave it, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Also, I just want to say about the sequel, the prequel trilogies. Whenever all the characters can shut the fuck up, the movie's actually really good. Moving on from there, Transformers. I actually want to discuss that. So moving on from there, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I watched the first episode of the new season. Actually, still really funny. Good enough for me. I can't wait to keep watching. Anything you want to watch about Curb Your Enthusiasm? Did you see anything? The new episodes? Blah blah.
No, still gotta watch the stuff I haven't seen. Love Larry David out of 10.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm gonna give it a John Hamm showed up again out of 10.
Yeah, love me some ham.
All right, so after that, that is my list excluding the Transformers movies.
Okay.
So
So let
rapid
me
fire
bounce
your
through
turn.
so let me bounce through two of these quickly. Upgrade. I watched Upgrade with
Hell yeah.
fake Tom Hardy.
Yes.
Look, the action scenes are by far the highlight of this movie. They're really fun
Yes.
and creative and inventive. Everything else in this movie, I can leave it. So I didn't love it, but the action was fun. I'll give it that. I would just the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, I would just rather be watching John Wick right now. They tried to
Oh,
do some cool things. I just honestly like fake Tom Hardy and fake Rami Malek did nothing for me in this movie, and I just was like, I
yeah,
don't
that's
like
fine.
either of these guys. So yeah,
But at least the action scenes and the way they
actions are
shot it makes you
yes,
okay, cool. The thing
yes.
is that like while yes, go for it.
The action scenes were good. Yes.
Okay, so I the thing is that when you said John Wick, I was like, no, there's no overlap there. But like, do you mean like just John Wick is a better handled movie overall?
Oh, I'm just they're both action movies, so I'm just purely pairing genre to genre.
Okay. The thing is that like Upgrade has gorgeously shot action in a very creative, kinetic way that honestly I don't think that anything in John Wick can actually get there unless you paralyze Keanu from the neck down.
Correct. I just think John Wick's just I enjoy the story and everything in that way more. I just did not care about the story in Upgrade. That was the problem for me. The
Okay, that is
characters and the
fine. I
story, I
understand.
just didn't care. But the action, the pure action, is really good. Yes.
Okay, yeah. The thing is that the action is very creative, and as long as you
Yes.
got that, that's what I'm happy about.
Yes. So,
Uh,
good. So it's fine. Like I'll never watch it again. I think I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5.
okay, got it. That'll work then. Let's go ahead and I'll score Upgrade. Upgrade is a very creative action out of 10.
Okay, so I'll move on to another one here. Drive. Drive I liked a lot more.
Ooh.
Really good movie. I'm kind of doing you a little bit dirty, giving you so little time drive, a
Yes,
lot
I
of time
agree.
crunches, but it's great movie, honestly. Ryan Gosling, man, again, in my notes right here, let me find it. Seriously, how is Ryan Gosling so damn cool all the time? I don't
Yes.
understand. He is so fucking cool though, and I love him in this movie. Again, you've said it perfectly though. You just project your emotions onto him, and I don't know. I just imagine me being a cool badass like him. I love him so much. This is just a really good movie. I enjoyed this way more than I thought I was going to. Just the style of it's really good. The music's really good. Just it's just from start to finish. There's no fat. It's just lean. It's a lot of fun. Love Bryan Cranston. Always good to see him and
Yep.
stuff. He's good in this as well. Really enjoyable. The elevator scene though. Shout out to that fucking scene in the elevator because God is that a beautifully shot scene and so well done. Oh my God, great stuff.
Okay. So I will say this that Drive, honestly, I might end up watching this pretty soon so we can bring it back here.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I really do feel like we're doing Drive dirty and I kind of hate it.
Yeah.
Drive, I'm just going to score it. I love this movie. Let's just go into the score of a real human being and a real hero out of 10.
Yeah, it's a 4 star out of 5 movie for me, and we'll bring it back. We'll have more to say. We're just time crunched right now, but great movie. Definitely recommend it.
We apologize for the close to 3 hour runtime. Continue.
Yes. Okay. So these two I do want to talk a bit more about, but let me just go
Okay.
into one here, and then we can do Transformers or whatever. I can do them both, and you can do Transformers.
Okay.
Let's talk about Before Sunrise. Let's do that.
Yes.
Um,
Fuck yes. Before sunrise.
yes, Before Sunrise. So look, I don't want to say I didn't spite watch this. This wasn't necessarily a spite watch,
It
but
was
this
more like a
was
flippant watch.
this is a flip and watch because everyone's like, you need to watch this, you need to watch this. This is the best trilogy of all time. I'm like, I don't like romantic comedies. Fuck you all. But I like Ethan Hawke. So points for
Mhm.
that. And, romantic movies, whatever, I can take them or leave them. But this was the type of movie. It's like, okay, I can put this movie on. I can kind of just chill in the background, just kind of scroll on the Discord and watch and listen and have hopefully have a decent time with it.
Mhm.
Honestly, I enjoyed it more than I expected to. I don't love it, but I think it was fun.
Hmm.
The character work was really strong in this. It was really well written. They just felt very believable. Everything was very believable, which
Yes.
I didn't expect. I thought like because I'd heard the premise of the movie, I'm like, how are you going to make that work? But
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
it was actually well done. It was very believable. Just like I said, incredibly well written. Very dialogue, character driven. What I found the most interesting by the time I had finished this movie was I'm like, where are they going to go with sequels for this movie? Like, it seems weird that this is a fucking trilogy.
Yes.
So I guess we'll see because I'm going to probably watch the other two now. But that was probably the biggest thought I had by the end of it.
Okay, so the biggest question that I have, because I had asked Sam this whenever we did our special episode on the Four
Oh yeah, I got to
trilogy.
listen to that now.
Uh,
But yeah,
d- Send yourself back to 1995. You were watching this. Let's just say you somehow watched it in the theaters. You are in the
okay,
exact same situation that you feel that you are right now about this movie.
right.
Don't even think about the fact that there are two other sequels. You see, oh, sorry, in your mind, what do you see literally being the next thing that happens in their lives? Do they end up going back there?
Oh, that's a good question. I think they do. I think they do.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's just
It,
where I wanted to see where you lied.
yeah.
Anything else that you wanted to add to that?
No, just I've never really seen any Richard Linklater, I believe, is the director
Yes.
of that.
Mhm.
Never really heard of him or seen many of his movies, so I'm gonna kind of look into him a little bit after. But yeah, like I gave this 3.5 stars out of 5. I think it was a good little movie. It was
Sick.
enjoyable to me.
I
Yeah, it was
will
just
say this.
it surpassed my
Go.
expectations.
I will say this. Richard Linklater is a guy who has a ridiculous amount of movies that have snuck into the Criterion Collection. You're like, how the fuck did you accomplish this?
Yeah, I could definitely see why this is in the Criterion Collection for sure. It's very look like this movie isn't going to be for everyone.
No, I
It's
think it is
very
though.
yeah,
Like, I really do think I could recommend this to almost anyone, and they would be like, "Oh, well, you know what? That was actually pretty good." It might not be in their taste, but I feel like most people are like, "Yeah, you know what? That was fine."
I feel like you got to have some level of quality control to enjoy this movie. Like if somebody comes up to me is like my favorite film series of all time is Transformers, I don't
Okay,
think they're
fine.
going
You
to
know
enjoy
what?
this
Fine.
movie.
I concede.
That's kind of where I sit. I feel like there needs to be a barrier of some minimum quality of taste to this movie because it's not pretentious, and that's what I was worried about. But
Yeah.
there are some moments that are a little edging on that for me. So,
Mhm.
but good movie. Glad I watched it. I have a free Cineplex rental, and I am considering before what is it? Before what's the middle one?
Sunset.
Before Sunset. I'm considering using it on that, so it's possible.
Dude, I swear, before sunset. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go straight into the score because God time. My score is gonna be before sunset is gonna put you on your ass out of 10.
Okay, really cool. Be interested to see that. 3.5 stars out of 5. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, what's the next one?
Yeah.
Oh no, no,
So
those were that you said drive and yeah, okay, yeah, continue.
I've got one thing left. So
Okay, go for it.
okay, so Good Time, really good movie. So this is
Damn it, we're
by
doing
Ben.
good time dirty. Fuck.
I yeah. Well, I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this, but
Oh, go for it.
we got to go quicker, obviously. But yeah, I'll give this one a little bit more. Good Time's great. It's by this fuck. How do I say their names? Safadi brothers. Safadi brothers. I don't know how to say that.
Safety brothers.
Safdie brothers. Thank you. So Benny and Josh.
Mhm.
Uh, Robert Pattinson, brilliant in this fucking movie, and Benny Safdie's in it himself too. Jennifer Jason Leigh. So you probably never heard of this movie, most of you. Uncut Gems. I'm sure you've heard of that. This is their first
Mhm.
movie, or before. Well, not their first movie, but this was basically before Uncut
Their first
Gems.
big movie.
Their first big movie. And I really liked it. It's a really great movie. Do I like it as much as Uncut Gems? No. And for me, it's simple. I think they're both fantastic movies. Uncut Gems, I was literally having a panic attack throughout the entire
Yep.
fucking movie. Good
Mhm.
Times, I was like, "Oh, what are you doing next?" But it wasn't quite that same like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm hyperventilating."
Yep.
Which isn't a knock. Like it's still a really great fucking movie. But Uncut Gems is a whole nother level for me. That being said, fucking Robert Pattinson's so great in this movie.
Yes.
Just a perfect performance of like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like every 5 minutes, I just want to grab him by the shoulders and fucking shake this guy. You'd be like, what are you fucking doing? What are you
Make better
doing?
choices.
Make a better fucking choice. Like it's just horrible because you just see from the start of the movie he makes one bad choice after one bad choice after one bad choice, and it just
Yep.
keeps going downhill. And it's fucking horrible because well, okay, I do want to talk a bit about spoilers. So general thoughts. Really great movie. Love it. Go ahead, and then I'll spoil.
Okay, I will say that Good Time is a good fucking time, although not actually. I love this movie. It gives you good vibes in the fact that Robert Pattinson is being taken seriously, and this is one of the reasons for it. It is a very good movie. If you want to really kind of ruin your day just a little bit, go ahead and watch it. I love this movie. Yes, that's it. Go into spoilers.
Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go into spoilers now. 3, 2, 1. Somehow Robert Pattinson doesn't die at the end of this movie, and that even makes it more heartbreaking because Jesus Christ, you're waiting for this entire movie for him to just get basically his head gone and get shot off, or for him to do something stupid and just end up dead. Especially after seeing Uncut Gems, because well,
Mhm.
fuck, Uncut Gems spoilers. Sorry, mix that in there too.
Inception.
Yeah, it's Inception, spoilerception. But yeah, so Uncut Gem spoilers, 3, 2, 1 as well. Just I was waiting for that, like how he fucking just gets his head blown off randomly, Adam Sandler at the end of that movie. I was waiting for that moment in Good Time too, and it never comes, but it's almost worse because it's like, man,
Yes.
now you're just going to fucking jail for the rest of your life, probably for being a fucking idiot, and your brother now is gonna end up in that fucking place you didn't want him to. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Oh my god. It's horrifying.
But yes, fucking good time. Just that's just such a pressure cooker of bad
Yes.
decisions that by the time you get to the end, you're like, oh my god, thank God. And then you are right. When he lives, you're like, oh my god, even life won't let you escape. You're still in
Yeah.
this fucking pressure cooker.
Yeah, it's horrible. The end of that movie's so great. Just like him fucking trying to get away and running and him getting caught and then the guy falling from the fucking building and just dying and fuck. It's just like I said, it's very good. It's not on the same level of Uncut Gems for me, but Robert, like I said, Robert Pattinson in this movie is just a fucking revelation. And anybody who's
Yes.
still worried about him as Batman needs to watch this movie first and be like, okay, you're don't overreact. You're going to be fine. This isn't Twilight Sparkle Sparkle, Robert Pattinson.
Exactly.
You've got some Kino here, my friends.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Good time. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a we're in good hands with the Batman out of 10.
Great score. 4 stars out of 5 for me. Fantastic movie. Definitely check it
Okay. All right. Now we're going to have the big fucking depressing ending. Transformers
out.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay.
Oh
I'm going to
boy.
go ahead and get through these really quickly. And I don't want to spend more time on these. These were what I thought the Saw movies were going to be. Okay. Transformers 1 is actually bad. The one bright spot that I had was that Bernie Mac was in there. I was like, yeah, Bernie Mac. I'm so happy that you're around. But man, that movie feels so much like it feels like Michael Bay wants to indulge in his worst, like just his worst impulses, but like because I assume Steven Spielberg might have had a hand in it. He was like, no, stop it. Michael Bay's like, fine, fuck you. So it just feels like this movie is a lot of there's hands of like Spielberg trying to be like, oh, let's just change it this way, but Michael Bay just can't do sincerity whatsoever. So like this movie specifically just feels really hampered by that, where it just becomes just mush. Like it's nothing, and it bothers me because like it's not enough to laugh at. There are pieces to laugh at, but most of it is like whatever, who cares. So like the first one is worse than I thought. The second one, because it was done during the writer's strike, and I assume Michael Bay didn't give a fuck. Like, there's something about the second one that I think is actually preferable to the first one. Yes, I know. I'm fucking saying heretic shit. But the second one, by being sheerly worse by the first one, feels like it actually has a little more personality to it. And I'm not going to lie, the first one beat me so badly that I'll take anything at this point, right? So the second movie, it's bad. It's terrible. But at least there's something about it where it feels like Michael Bay doesn't feel like he's being chokehold into making the movie that other people wanted to make, that it somehow worked out better for me. Like I said, me specifically, I will take something that is slightly worse with more personality than something that's fine. It's okay, meh. If there's like just, it's boring to me, right? I'm sorry. That's just how I work. Transformers 3 is shockingly like I don't understand that like Michael Bay knew that I was going to do this like a decade later, but he made Dark of the Moon for me. It deals with Cold War shit, it deals with space shit, and then it ends with a Linkin Park song and it ends with a Paramore song. And I'm pretty sure it's not only because of those things that I actually liked it. Like there was actually competent filmmaking where it felt like Transformers 1 and 2 were just a mishmash of just a whole bunch of like if you took a toolbox and then threw it at someone's face for 2 hours, that's what the Transformers fights look like in 1 and 2. But Transformers 3 actually felt like someone told him, "Hey, you know you don't need to get inside this Transformers asshole to film this shot, right?" And he's like, "Oh, okay, whoops, all right." And then he actually pulled back. There were actually some legitimately good fight scenes in the third one where I was like, "Oh, well, you know what? This is actually shot pretty well. Michael Bay can shoot things. It's just that sometimes this man is way too fucking close." It honestly feels like Transformers 1 and 2 feel like they don't have the FOV cranked up high enough, so it feels like everything is way too close. Transformers 3 is shockingly way more of a competent movie than I could imagine. It got rid of mostly the parents being really fucking annoying in the first two, and even when you see them, they're way more subdued. So I was actually kind of shocked about that. Most of the people who are in this movie are a little more subdued, at least by Michael Bay standards. So they came across as, I mean, still 2D people, but like it was actually entertaining. Like I'm shocked that the third one was acceptable. Like I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm probably never gonna watch that again, but like I don't regret the time that I spent on this one like I did 1 and 2. Now that must have been like Michael Bay being like, you know what, here you go, I'll put in an attempt, and then everyone beat that movie to the fuck the same way that they did 1 and 2. So I swear that Transformers 4 and 5 are his vengeance to try to get out of this series. Like I truly believe like 4 and 5 are his Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 moment of trying to throw a tantrum until someone kicked him out. I swear Paramount was like, these make billions of dollars. Michael Bay, name your price. How do you get back? And Michael Bay was like, full creative control and $200 million. And then Paramount went, yeah, okay. And he went, fuck, I didn't think you guys were going to say yes. I guess I got to make another one. So Transformers 4 is honestly one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It is like 2 hours and 45 minutes of just Michael Bay not giving a shit, casting Mark Wahlberg as a scientist, which might be one of the worst casting jobs just ever. Mark Wahlberg, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Honestly, it seems like he watched The Happening and he was like, yeah, what if I do that, but I sap out all the fun of it? And that's where you have him. There is a moment where the brother from Sing Street and the boyfriend from Midsummer, it's the same actor. I just can't remember his name. Jack Trainer. I feel like that might be it, but I feel like I might be wrong too. Whatever. And there's an actual scene where he's like, "Hey, yeah, Mark Wahlberg, I'm dating your daughter," and Mark Wahlberg is like, "No, man, no, she's a little girl. She's 17. You can't do that. I'm gonna call the cops on you." And he's like, "Well, I have the Texas law in my fucking wallet, like a fucking Monopoly get out of jail free card that shows that 17 is legal in Texas." Well, first off, fucking red flag that guy has that shit in his pocket. How many 17-year-olds is this guy hitting on that he needs to keep that in his wallet? I digress. Fucking hate that movie. Most of it ends up taking place in China, and it's so masturbatory to all of China that I just fucking can't stand it. I hate this movie over and over and over again. Like, I just can't express that. And then the directing itself actually feels like Michael Bay is so bored with it that he can't even shoot a proper explosion anymore. Like, he must hate these movies, and I can only tell from just the way that they're shot. Now, Transformers 5 is the worst fucking movie I have ever seen. Easily the worst fucking movie I have ever put myself through, and it's purely for technical reasons. If you asked me what Transformers 5 was about, I would not be able to tell you. If you asked me who was in this movie, I could really only tell you Mark Wahlberg was in it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's a John Goodman Autobot in 4 and 5. And anytime John Goodman spoke, I was like, this is comforting. But the problem is that Transformers 5 is easily the closest I've ever gotten into an aneurysm watching a movie. And it's because there are 5 different aspect ratios in this movie that get rotated around. Now, what are aspect ratios? You know, whenever you're watching a movie and it's widescreen, but then like sometimes the widescreen frame is like slightly bigger. If you've ever watched a Christopher Nolan movie on Blu-ray or 4K, and you know how some scenes are a bit of a larger frame, that's the IMAX frame. Right now, here's the problem. Michael Bay fucking hates you. He hates your dog. He hates your brain. And he hates all of you for ever watching Transformers 5. Because what does he do? He changes through different aspect ratios the entire time. And then he will hard cut very quickly across different aspect ratios in the exact same scene. So you will have look, this is an actual conversation that was going on in Transformers 5. All right. Mark Wahlberg is in IMAX, and then he's talking to a little black kid, and he gets the smaller aspect ratio, which I think is actually fucking hilarious. Like, that is fucking funny to me that in literal aspect ratios, you are making the black kid smaller. Like, that has to be so accidental that I can't help but think that that's fucking funny, right? So these aspect ratios. Oh man, you see, this movie's hurting me that now I have to cough. It's going through different aspect ratios where it's this big, this big, this big, and it will cross cut between them, and the different aspect ratios had me fucking losing my mind where I couldn't even watch this movie. I was just looking at how often he would swap across these movies. Across these aspect ratios. Fuck this movie. I hate this movie. I hate these last 2 movies. Transformers 3 is the only decent one. 1 and 2 can fuck right off as well. Ugh.
Feel good getting that off your chest?
It's fucking great. Honestly, I need to beat Transformers 5 even fucking harder, and I can't wait to sell these movies off.
Yeah, so I've seen Transformers 1 in theaters. I thought it was fine. I'll never watch it again. I'm sure it's worse than I remember. It was fine, though. Transformers 2 I saw in theater, and it made me angry, viscerally angry, and I almost wanted to walk out. I didn't, but I fucking hated that movie. And that was it. I will never watch another one because I don't like the franchise. I don't really like
Correct.
Michael Bay either. He's very hit or miss for me. But yeah, no, those they're bad movies. Don't watch them.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give Transformers 1 and 2 a out of 10. I'm gonna give Transformers 3 a Hey, you played Paramore. Fuck yeah, man. I forgot about Monster. That's a fucking great song out of 10. I'm going to give Transformers 4 a fuck you out of 10. And Transformers 5, I'm going to give it a. I hope in Saudi Arabia, whenever they have the undesirables in society, they use Transformers 5 to torture them out of 10.
Transformers 1 would be probably a 2.5 out of 5. Transformers 2 would be a 1 out of 5. And I will never watch any of the other ones out of 5.
Save yourself. I will say this. I did say Saudi Arabia. I meant to say North Korea because I realized that North Korea doesn't want other people who like freedom as undesirables. Saudi Arabia's undesirables are gay people. And you know what? The gays are fine. We don't need your movies anymore. But, like, you probably shouldn't be getting killed by the Saudi Arabians. There we go. Good. Is that it? Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Fuck this episode. This is really long. End card. Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show. A big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.